Saskatchewan Championship Curling is brought to you by Viterra, SaskTel, Service Equipment, White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, Jiffy Lube, CurlSask, and SaskTel Max.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Northern Lights Palace in Melfort. Normally the home of the Melfort Mustangs of the SJHL, but this week it's been home all week to the 2018 Viterra Scotties Provincial Women's Curling Championship. We've had 8 round robin draws already and really haven't determined a lot as to who's going to make the playoffs. The final round robin draw is going to determine everything. My name is Sean Joyce. I'm joined by Susan Lang and Kim Hudson.
Hello.
And Kim, let me throw it to you first. We saw a couple of the teams that are going to be playing in this feature matchup tonight, Chantel Eberle and Penny Barker. Tough losses this afternoon, and these last games really matter to their playoff lives.
Sure does. This last game matters to both of them, equally important. And the big test is to see who bounces back from those losses. They both had tough losses today, coming into a very big game. Hopefully the coaches help out a little bit, and we'll see who can turn things around first. And
Susan, for the Penny Barker team, they're the defending champions and the only team coming back to this event intact from last year with the same 4 players. Can that experience benefit them?
I'm really expecting that it will, because at this point of the draw, where this is getting into elimination time, that I think you're looking for any edge that you can find against your opposition, and I think that experience that they have as a team, as a unit with the same coach is invaluable. You can never replace that, and I think it will be the edge in this evening's game.
And this game matters not just to the 2 teams involved, but there are other teams that factor into the playoffs as well, and there's going to be some scoreboard watching. We're going to keep an eye on all 4 games. Candace Chisholm will be playing Stephanie Lawton on sheet 1. It is Robin Silvernagel playing against Ashley Howard on sheet 3, and Amber Holland's team will be facing off against Sherry Anderson on sheet 4. We'll go into the standings and some of those combinations about how the teams can get into the playoffs or possible tiebreakers in just a moment. But before we do that, let's meet the teams in tonight's matchup.
Hi, I'm Penny Barker, skip of Team Barker. Our lead is Danielle Sosinski, second Lorraine Schneider, third Deanna Doig, coach Murph Unger, and we curl out of the Moose Jaw Ford Curling Center in Moose Jaw.
Hi, I'm Chantel Eberle, skip of Team Eberle. Lead is Haley Jameson, second is Larissa Murray, third is Christy Gamble, and coach absent is Mark Lang. We curl out of the Kelly Curling Club in Regina, Saskatchewan.
And Susan, Kim, we were going through the possible combinations of the playoffs. We've got 8 pages of notes here on how these...
I have a headache.
And it's going to take all 4 games before we can throw 7 of the pages away and figure out who's going to be in tomorrow. We don't even know what time the first draw is going to be tomorrow. There is a possibility of a 9 o'clock tiebreaker. Here's the simple things that we do know. If Robin Silvernagel wins, she will be first overall. She'll go to the page 1-2 game. If Chantel Eberle can win her game, she also would be at least second. She would be first if Robin Silvernagel loses. But those 2 teams would be in the page 1-2 game. After that, there's all kinds of ties and tiebreaker scenarios possible.
Well, if you look at that, there were 5 teams that were 4-3 and 3-5, which talks about the parity of the teams here this week. But also that's what gives us the headache, because you can't figure all the scenarios out.
There is still a scenario where there will be no tiebreakers at all.
Yes. And it's funny, I think the odds are over the years that's the one that tends to play out. You think there's going to be all these different things and all these tiebreakers, and when the dust settles, there isn't any. Well, we've started our game here on sheet 2, which will be our feature game tonight. Barker Eberle. And you see the first rock.
Brought to the back 12-foot. No thought whatsoever by Chantel Eberle of playing the corner guard. She's going to hit this right away.
Going to get their sea legs under them the first end.
Weight's good, bud.
Well, the front end did struggle a little bit with their draw weight today in their game against Ashley Howard. So I think this is probably part of their game plan, is not to get into too much trouble early, and as Kim referred to, getting your sea legs, just getting everything settled in and getting confident.
Make sure. Can I get 9-5? Yep.
but it is fun to have the last, this is round 9 of our round robin, and all 4 sheets of ice have impacts on the standing, and you don't sometimes get that. Sometimes you're just hoping even one game is important when it comes down to the end, but of the 8 teams on the ice tonight, 7 are still alive in some form or another.
Exactly.
Amber Holland is the only person who has been eliminated that's on the draw tonight, and the only other team out of the competition is Nancy Martin's team with a 3-5 record, but they have the bye this evening.
Yeah. To simplify that, exactly as you said, 7 out of 9 teams still alive playing tonight, which is amazing and fantastic.
With that rollout, Haley Jameson getting the opportunity here to throw up a corner guard,
which she does well. Nice shot by Haley.
Right to Chantel's broom. But I think that was one of the lead stories coming into this week, way back on Tuesday, was the parity of the field. The curlers all said that, the observers all said that it was a very evenly stacked group of curlers here, and no one clear dominant favorite. And it has played out the way that we all sort of kind of thought it might.
Yeah, I agree with you, Susan. It's one of those things where it could have gone any way, and you'll see who gets on a roll and who gets hot and who's building for the weekend.
Good. Great shot.
Penny Barker there asking Lorraine Schneider to make the peel on the corner guard. Got rid of the guard, but it leaves her shooter on the other side. Maybe a little too tight for the rings for Chantel Eberle's liking, so she's going to make a play on it rather than go around it. Larissa Murray with the out-turn hit. She wants to stay right there. She doesn't mind the corner guard. She doesn't like the color.
That was Larissa Murray. Long time second for Chantel. These two have been teammates for several years now. I think about 6 or 7 actually.
9-5. Okay, wait, 9.5.
And once she overcurled the nose hit, they looked for a little roll. They didn't want to roll just to the center and be out of the rings. Looks like they've got a bite of the 12-foot. Penny Barker's going to ask Lorraine Schneider to make a hit on this. She might like to stay there this time. I think the call on the last attempt was to peel out, but this would be tight to the rings and right in the middle.
Yeah, a nose hit right there would be good.
Makes the hit. She is going to roll across. She does get a piece of the 12-foot.
So right back to this open end.
That was 9.5. No, it was good. Okay. Same way. Yeah. Whoa. Yes. High. All the way. You gotta go. High, guys. High.
That weight might be down a little bit, and it's getting the big curl, but they saved the shooter. Comes across it nicely.
Makes the hit, rolls fully into the 12-foot. Sometimes when you're playing these open ends, especially the team with last rock, she might be just as happy to roll that all the way in. You hate to get caught with that one where you hit the rock, stay outside of the rings, one too late in the end, and the other team decides to come around and force you.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right, Sean. It's easier just to roll right in and
play the rest of the end in the house.
Yeah, exactly like they planned at the start.
Makes the hit, but this stone's going to roll out of play. Would you dare throw a corner guard this late?
Our guard, yeah.
Well,
Up here. 3.
Chantel says he can.
It's pretty good here. Yeah. You got this.
And Chantel, obviously because of the call, but just to let you know, has hammer. Courtesy of the draw to the button.
Third, Christy Gamble.
It should be okay.
New to the team this year.
Gotta go.
Recently moved into the city about 1 year ago from Nova Scotia. Happy to be home, back in the home province. Coming up light for a very long corner guard.
Okay. Hey. Can peel it or you just go here?
Yeah, we could go there, I think.
T-line plus.
Okay. I don't really know that we want to be 2+.
I think a 14.5.
Such a long corner guard. They're
Right.
just going to
Okay.
go
Going
into the
across.
rings, other
Okay.
side. Try to keep the play away from there.
Third, Deanna Doig with her final stone here in this first end of play.
I think we're there. T-line plus, guys. Line
Looking to draw into the corner of the forefoot.
Switch. Switch. Hard. A little more. Good sweep, girls.
Brings it into the back 8.
Okay, you got it, Christy.
Christy Gamble now looking to make the nose hit with the out turn.
Weight's pretty good. Hit it firm. Just clean. Just clean. 9-5. Clean. Gotta move still. Okay, there we go. Nice.
Makes the hit, stays right there.
5.
Now, if this exchange of stones continues until Penny's last one, expect her to make attempt to make the long roll across the house to possibly get partially under that corner guard.
You bet.
That'd
Oh,
be
you
like
may
a,
as well. It certainly isn't going to
9-5.
penalize you in any way or form.
you roll out, you give her the easy blank, but yeah, I think at this level, especially at this point in the week, you expect a hit and roll out, an open hit and roll out to be a fairly easy blank as well.
Yep. Clean. Yep. Yep. Right to it.
Sorry. That's
Makes the hit, stays right there.
okay.
So if you're Chantel Eberly now,
I think nose is fine.
Yeah, I agree.
A roll isn't going to help us.
Nope.
roll behind the guard doesn't help her. She
Okay.
could roll a couple of feet towards the open side and make that roll back a little harder still for Penny Barker. You sure don't want to roll out though.
No, you don't want to give her the freebie come around.
Just clean, easy.
No.
Oh, whoa. Little firm. Just clean. Coming. No, not yet. Okay,
Deanna Doig getting ready to sweep the roll.
fine. Okay.
This is going to roll out of the rings, and it will give Penny Barker a chance to try to tuck around that corner guard and perhaps get a force here in the opening end.
This is
You
a little
bet.
firm, I think. Good throw. You know what? I think for your 9-5s, we should just tighten up your ice a little bit.
Because
It was a nice
I
throw.
feel like that's how I'm throwing them.
Exactly.
That's right, just a little different rotation between Chantel's and Christie's. Chantel will probably have about one more rotation on a shot like that, and good discussion there to go forward on the next shot.
We've got a good crowd in the house tonight here. Loud, a lot of cheering. Good to see lots of curling fans out here in Melfort.
I wonder if they all know they might have to be back here at 9 o'clock in the morning.
I know. I'm a
I
little
don't
worried
think
about that myself.
I don't think it's going to play out like that. I'm going to go with Kim, where when you go through all these scenarios and it just ends up with the simplest. So Penny
will-
putting some pressure on right off the bat.
Nice shot there. We will try to update you on those scenarios, but we're not going to do so until much, much later in the game, where we can maybe sort of see some of these scenarios playing out.
Nice weight for Penny Barker, puts that right on the tee line, but you can see from that angle, most of that rock's still exposed. So Chantel Eberly's going to have a chance to play for the blank here.
But makes her roll the long way all the way across the house. Lots of times on these blanks, you'd rather take the short route. But because she got partially tucked under there, that in-turn blank attempt is taken away. And we do know a curl's coming off these lines.
Yeah. Oh. Clean. No.
Chantel might have been a little out on that
Looked
release
like a
there.
little pop on the release. She's Going to slide right by that stone, and it will be a steal of 1 for Penny Barker here to start this game.
Introducing the all-new heated cab for the John Deere 1R tractor. Simply captivating.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, we're going to keep track of all the games and try to keep track of the combinations in this final round robin draw. And we've got updates already. Susan?
Sorry, I missed how the first end turned out. They did have some rocks in play, but Stephanie Lawton walked away with a 1-point steal, so she takes the early lead 1-0 over Candace Chisholm.
She too is our feature game, and we did see that steal of 1 by Penny Barker, 1-0 Barker over Eberly.
Robin Silvernagel put in a beautiful draw just to bite the very top of the forefoot, blocking off any draw path for Ashley Howard. And Robin walks away with a 1-point steal in their first end.
And over on sheet 4, we have Holland versus Anderson. Amber had an open blank in the first end, but nosed it, took her 1 point. So 1-0, Holland over Anderson. So we see the Penny Barker team put their first rock, top 8, fully in the 8-foot basically, and Chantel wastes no time, asking Haley for the corner guard.
Okay, Haley.
And now we see a call for a tight center guard. Pretty textbook.
Danielle Sosinski with her in turn.
Danielle, as manager of the Moose Jaw Curling Club, is always around a curling environment. Never far away from a curling club. Very nicely done by Danielle. She's had a very strong week out here.
If you push it a bit, that's fine. Okay, we got this.
And again, this is where it goes back to, it's nice to have long-term teammates. Danielle and Penny have been together, like same thing, like 7 or 8 years anyways. And they're friends off the ice. And it's amazing how far that goes when you get into tight, tense situations, that bond and relationship you have with your teammates can take you a long way.
Oh, for sure. Team chemistry. Do you remember back 10 or 20 years ago? I don't remember, but when the Olympics first kind of came into the picture for curling, and the first few Olympic trials, they just picked good curlers from across the board and just put the good throwers together. Somehow that didn't turn out so well. It went back to team chemistry that made your best teams.
What if they're one who's still like driving?
I remember that how that Linda Moore team got formed, but all the other curlers that came back, Cassandra Schmerler was involved in that, and Jan Becker and some of the other Saskatoon curlers, and nobody was a fan of the contrived, made-up teams.
Yeah.
Don't have to right now. Close though.
No line. Punt
No.
through. Where are we?
Oh, there. 7, 8.
Go right back.
8.
You have to. Deanna in. It's moving hard now. Okay, just clean.
We're to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
for the come around here. I don't think the initial plan was necessarily to come right down to that yellow stone, but she's got the weight for that. Nudges it just a little bit, so definitely it's red sitting 2 right now.
Nice peel.
Bonus would have been to get that tick on the center line one, but took care of first things first here.
So Lorraine's going to look to put that guard back.
It is moving. Might over curl, so Deanna stay in. Coming down. Where are we? Two. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Short of the sun.
Little bit, little bit. Yep. Okay, whoa. Good.
A little long, but certainly does the trick.
I think you can tap it.
Don't think they dared take it any deeper. You heard them concerned it was going to over curl, and you sure don't want to leave, as we're looking at it, the left side of that rock exposed. You'd leave the chance to hit and roll behind the corners.
Yeah, that's true. And again, kudos to the ice makers for the great ice they've been playing all week. Lots of curl.
Big shot here for Larissa Murray. This could actually be quite a building shot for them if she's able to tap this rock off the 8-foot and keep her shooter even possibly tucked behind the yellow corner.
Moving by the guard yet. They're waiting for some finish here. Starting to curl. This looks like it's a pretty good shot.
Just like that. He didn't move it quite far enough.
Well, it's behind the tee line and it's out in the open.
Yeah, better than it was before.
Yeah. Just top 4, guys. Top 8.
So good shot by Larissa. Penny's got to be a little bit concerned early in the end, seeing a couple extra yellow hangers on, but it's still a chance here to put that rock back, keep the pressure on.
Isn't that the truth, though, Susan? You don't like to let the opposition start to pile rocks around the 12-foot when they've got last rock. It's going to come back to bite you. But you can't really get at either of them.
Always scary, but I think in this case it's pretty safe.
But you can't do anything about the yellow other than ignore them right about now.
Yeah, other than put third shot in there.
Well, she was looking to get one in there, but the sweeper's indicating it's just a guard.
Yeah, it's looking a little short.
Sorry.
I have to think Chantel's got to try to draw one in front of the tee line before she can worry about playing those reds.
Yep, and that's the call.
Yeah, that's good.
Christy Gamble with her out-turn draw, trying to come around the 2 red guards in the center line area.
Sounds like the weight is good, a little concerned about line.
It's light, it's quite light. Like that's the second time now she's been really light with that rock.
I do have to say I enjoy watching Chantel, and she always wears her heart on her sleeve. I was looking the other way when I glanced over, and I knew what was happening by the reaction on Chantel's face and her body language when that rock was about halfway down.
Yeah, lots of times you don't have to watch the rock.
No, just look at Chantel, you know what's happening.
So you're at the Viterra sign on your last kick.
Well, this certainly gives Deanna Doig another shot at getting a rock in there to sit 3. Always like it when you have second chances.
Reach better. Whoa. Stay close, though. Yeah, line's good.
Line's good.
Reach there. Yeah. Yes. Hard line. Yes. Okay, we're by.
Wait only, girls.
We're deep. We're deep.
Oh, it's such a good opportunity for the Barker team to really have the Eberle team in trouble. You don't want to be deep there.
Okay. Sorry. That's okay.
But it does slide to the back 4-foot. They had to be conscious of the line they needed to get through the hole. So.
Yeah, You are correct, which
Sweepers
gives...
were kind of caught there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, to get through first gives Christy the chance to play it again. Play it again, Sam.
7, 8. Wall line. 8. Wall line. You can't.
It's way out there, so it's gotta.
Well, we're on the corner right now. Down a bit. Yep. Still 8.
So this time the weight was good, but
Well, even as it was, I think the weight might have been short, and they didn't get any curl on that one whatsoever.
That's great.
Taps the guard, pulls the shooter over to provide some extra cover.
It's getting pretty congested in front of the rings here.
Yeah, this
We
is
see
about
Penny
where
change
really
turns.
in some trouble here.
yeah, that's right.
Yep.
That shooter rolling over and
look
taking
for the
away
draw.
that in off on the back 8-foot rock there.
I'd be okay
Just
with
behind the
that.
tee line was sort of a backdoor way in, but that's gone.
All right. I think a 15 here is pretty close. 15 or like 14, 7? This path outside is more fast than the one Deanna took. Okay, 15 to tee. Yeah, because even if we're top 8, I mean, that's not the end of the world.
Perfect. Be half in the 4-foot.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Nice throw here, Penny. Straight up.
Gonna have to go for weight at some point.
Lots of room.
Line only right now.
It's running out here for a bit.
We
Stay
can wait a little
pulled.
bit. We're T line right now.
No line.
No.
Line will come.
Danielle, when you can.
Coming down now. Top 4.
Line
Danielle, when you can.
We're still pretty much there.
We're sliding on its own.
He's found the hole.
Stop. Stop. Nothing.
Want to
Nothing.
stop in front of the tee line,
Okay.
Yep.
and it does. Even a foot higher might have been a little bit better.
It would have been better for sure, but good shot nonetheless.
Don't know how much of that Chantel is able to see past the guard.
Not much, I
No.
think.
Get that look. And it wasn't a hard curl in there too. It looks like it's a little touchy coming in if you up your weight a little bit.
Try and run it in. Yeah. We try to run and open up that side, but we'll see what that one's going to come to. Well, I think we got to peel the reds, not the yellow.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe we could even run it in. Right.
I think they've decided they need to find a way in here, so they've got to do some peeling. Looks like they're going to double peel the reds.
So a little bit more.
Is going to send the second red into the conglomeration in the rings. Might see quite a different house when everything comes to rest.
Got this.
Well, certainly a shaky start here for this Eberly team.
It's always disconcerting when you're running the opposition's rock into a pile of rocks. You'd rather be running your own color in, but not a choice just yet.
Chantel Eberly with her first stone here. She does have last rock in the second end, but needs to create somewhere, some room to throw it. She jams that double peel attempt, and still a guard there.
Yeah, it doesn't actually change a whole lot. Just gives Penny the opportunity to throw the same thing again. And
Sit
dare I
five.
say, have Chantel looking at 5 with no way in, and probably a double run back or one of these yellows slashes into the ring.
Might be the angle.
The angle one.
It's shorter, but it's not as straight as the double we're looking at.
Well, I was kind of thinking of even playing that one on Chantel's first, just because even if you got the peel, then you opened up that side 8-foot one again.
But that wouldn't have been a bad idea.
Yeah, it was an option. And at least
You'd have opened up the draw path, you'd have opened up the in-off, so
Yeah,
they couldn't
and-
take both of those away.
And you're sending yellow into a pile of reds.
And you might have made the shot, that's right.
Yep.
Full 8 to the top of it is great. Just full 8.
You should have said that before she threw.
Well, I was thinking it, but
You can bring it all
Did
the
you
way
use
to
your
the
mental
line.
telepathy to
apparently
Coach
not.
Mark?
Apparently not. Well, if Penny sinks this one in, and there are 2 or 3 places where she can really take this whole end away from Chantel, it could be One of our key pieces for tiebreaker concepts is going to be falling into place very quickly.
Definitely less. I gave an
Line's good. Line's good.
We're close right now.
Little tighter.
Coming down now. No,
Room.
I don't want to touch
It's sliding. Whoa.
I don't want to
This looks like a lot of weight. She wanted to stop this in front of the last when she threw.
No, let it come up.
No, so she's going to have to sit on the button there for.
Okay.
Comes
Sit
up, just
5.
nudges off that stone.
No, this.
Well, I can't see how much Chantal can see, but she obviously feels there's a shot off there. There's the view.
Not the score. I think she's conceding
No,
one.
yeah. If she can get to the inside of the one that was just thrown, she will concede just one, which is sounding pretty good right now.
You got lots of margin for a little, you know, like back line's good, right?
I need a little bit more weight, more line.
Okay?
Yeah. Okay, her second rock there ran a lot faster and straighter.
Yeah.
So I probably need 15, eh?
Yeah.
So we're just trying to weasel it in there.
There we get a reference to the time. It's running 15, which is nice and quick, which it has been all week.
Well, this is not the first time Chantel's looked at 4 or 5 stones here when she goes to throw, so she's had a little bit of experience at it this week because they've had ends that have looked like this a couple of times. But this is for the game right here. Turning point in the second end.
Where? 8. Okay, line's good. Clean. Line only. Got room. Let him move.
Still needs to come up.
Needs to move. Haley in. Just Haley in. Hard, Haley.
Needs to get to the inside of this red stone and roll in just a little bit. It's not going to. And it's going to be a steal of 3 for Penny Barker here in the second end. She jumps out to a 4-0 lead. Chantal Eberly will keep last rock into the third end of play.
White Ice, the ice paint people, set out to develop a very specific ice paint product that would satisfy the needs of the professional ice maker in both hockey and curling. White Ice was successfully formulated and tested, and distribution began in 1988 and has since expanded their line of products and services to meet the needs of today's professional ice makers. White Ice is distributed by Eastside Paint and Wallpaper in Saskatoon, who is also a signature Benjamin Moore paint dealer. White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, defining the game.
All right, people, let's get to work. Lights off.
Ma'am, there's someone at the door. Unknown male, might be a salesman.
Take care of it. You, drop the temperature. I'm roasting.
Ma'am, your straightening iron. Shall I pull the plug?
Yes. While you're at it, leave room for milk.
Welcome back, everyone. All of these games in the final round robin draw 9 will factor into the playoffs somehow or another, so we're going to keep you up to date on all of them. We've got another update for you. Susan, Kim?
Candace Chisholm was trying to maintain a deuce throughout the second end there, but Candace hit and rolled out on her last stone and only counted the 1 point to provide a tie game at 1-1 for the third end.
Well, over on sheet 2, which is our feature game, we saw that big steal of 3, 4-0. Barker over Eberly.
A couple of rocks in play this end, but as it all turned out, Ashley Howard had an open hit and stick for 2 points, and she made it to take a 2-1 lead over Robin Silvernagel.
And over on sheet 4, Amber Holland forced Sherry Anderson to take her 1 point, so it's a tie ball game, 1-1. Here's what I know, the simplest thing is if Barker and Anderson win these games tonight, there's no tiebreakers, which means we can all sleep in the morning. Having said that, when you give up a steal of 3 in the second end, the good news is you've got 8 ends to recover. So even though the score is 4-0, there's a long way to go. This is a 10-end game and doesn't take much.
But we really haven't seen the big comeback. We've seen teams get back into games after relinquishing early leads, but we haven't had that one dramatic game, you know, where somebody stole in order to win the game.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe it's time for one.
12?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we gotta go.
3-4. Where are we?
This is where it gets hard for the other teams that need losses to keep their eyes on their own sheet and
Stay in.
be watching, because we know that every sheet is important, and we know that Howard needs to win, and Lawton needs to win, and Chisholm needs to win over here on sheets 3 and 4, but could all be for naught depending on what happens on 2 and 4.
The attempted guard slides into the rings there. Should give Chantel a chance now. She's trying to use the corner guard or throwing a second
just
one?
throwing a second corner guard right now. She'll get to that later.
Running. Have a look. Have a look. Okay. No. Our bad, Haley. Okay. Fix that one.
Don't know if it's
Slides into the ring, so gives the Barker team the opportunity to just hit and rolls at 3.
Spot is the first in. Good. Should come up here a bit.
Yep. 9 to go. Yep.
Hard for the roll.
Hard, yep.
Easy. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Makes the hit. The shooter will roll across underneath that stone at the top of the 12-foot, and Penny Barker does sit 3 for the time being.
Nice throw by Lorraine Schneider.
Little firm.
Gonna move a few stones here.
No.
It's looking to get 2 of them moving, but wanted to keep the shooter as well. It's going to drive it by 2 stones.
That was key, was to keep your shooter around.
Right, and it's so tempting to throw the bigger weight when you're seeing all that granite in the house, but really and truly you just have to try to rein it in, and if you just have nice house weight. But we're seeing a little bit straighter ice too. Some other sheets earlier in the draw might have come up just that little bit, but this is much more weight sensitive out here tonight. We haven't seen quite as much curl coming into the button, and it's a later curl.
Looking to peel the corner guard, makes the hit. It rolls all the way across the rings, maybe covering just a little bit of the edge of the 12-foot now.
So can still be used as a corner guard. It comes to that, but in the meantime, we have Chantel asking Larissa to play the freeze.
8, 9, 10. We're not even on it. Would I take it? Well, sure.
A little heavy, bounces off.
13.
I don't mind just pulling it. This goes behind the tee.
Yeah. Okay.
Not that it's too bad, but I think just rip it.
Okay.
So rather than get too many rocks in play, which would only be to the advantage of the Eberly team, they're just going to peel this one out.
And Penny does like her rocks in play. We've covered a couple of her games and cocktail finishes of other games, and oh my goodness, there are rocks.
She's not afraid to play with rocks in play. Deanna Doig throws as well as anybody. Makes this one nicely.
Feels it on a play, and now Chantel Eberly going to have to make a decision. You heard the call. You're just going to hit it. Try to avoid giving up another steal or possibly getting forced.
Yeah.
Look for the double here.
Yeah, saying, you know what, we've got another 7 ends to play. Let's see if we can get out of this with a blank, and we'll go for it next end, which happens to be an even end, which is a good time to go for it as well.
Makes the hit, but it will go by the back stone.
Go.
Almost, but not quite behind that corner.
It's a 10?
Okay. It's a 10.
Oh, it's a long ways from the corner.
It's a long ways to Tipperary.
Yeah, I don't think a rock that's all the way in 12 foot would even be behind that corner. You'd have to be about half 12. Not to say that I haven't seen rocks like that get used, but I don't know if we've seen one this week.
Yes, yes, yes! Yes! Hard! Hard, yes! Hard, yes! Hard! Hard, yes! Hard, hold the line. Hard, 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 hard. Hard, hard, hard. Okay, okay.
Well, they don't want to be rolling behind the corner.
Do you like this? Okay. Just a 10. Okay. That was 10-4. Okay. Okay, Christy.
So the 10-4, meaning Christy threw just minimum weight. Needs just a little bit more on this one.
Little down.
Hard!
Weights down. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa.
No.
Oh. Okay, nice.
Makes the hit, but stays right there.
I think we still want to try to roll the center if we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do see that the Barker team is going to try to get out of dodge here and get away from that corner. They're going to roll back to center.
At 10. Try to roll to the center. Okay. 10 Yeah. Great, Penny, straight up.
Nose hit here wouldn't be the end of the world, even if Chantel Eberly was able to make the hit and roll behind that corner and made it so good you couldn't see the rock. You could draw another one in and get the force that way.
Whoa, whoa! No!
Critical here that she stays, though. You'd hate to let her off the hook.
Hard, buddy. You gotta get hard, Lorraine! Gotta cross the T's. Gotta cross the T's. Real hard! Cross the T's. I got this. Go, go, go. Okay.
Well, curls just enough to clip that stone out of the rings, but does leave Chantel a chance to make the hit on shot stone and lets her off the hook a little bit this end.
Well, Penny is just indicating, I think she's a touch surprised at how straight that was, but that's where Chantel missed in the first end to give up that steal on the open hit. So ice is a little bit straighter, I think, than what they've been used to.
Does make the hit, stays right there.
Okay, thanks. Nose is good.
Yeah.
What's that weight?
Nine and a half.
Okay.
Just open it a little bit. Yeah. I guess I was just a little back with that. That's why it ran so straight.
Okay.
There's your answer for the shot before.
Straight up here, Penny.
Oh, she took accountability. I was trying to blame the ice. I mean, that's what we're so trained to do. Couldn't have been anything I'd done on my throw. But again, recognition of how you throw a stone and how it impacts the outcome. That's one of the skills that for a lot of people is hard to learn.
And accepting when someone tells you that that's what you did, because you tend to say, no, I didn't.
Needs to stay in the ring somewhere to force Chantel Eberly to make a play on it, but it will roll out to the side and
gives Chantel the easy blank.
with that, Chantel Eberly will have the chance to keep last rock. See if she can get a multiple score in the fourth end and try to get herself back in this game. for the Eberly team, still a chance to get into first place. This is not the start to this game that they were looking for.
Probably not.
No, I don't think anybody ever wants to be down 4-0 to start, but at least maybe having another open end like this, and they can get settled down and get a couple points next end.
So with the blank end, Chantel Eberly will keep last rock into end number 4.
Winter's just around the corner, so drop into Jiffy Lube for your winter oil change. No appointment necessary. Jiffy Lube. Be wise, winterize.
Totally my first. Okay, I'm very excited. Don't worry, you're gonna have a great time. We're gonna throw the rock and practice, and then we're gonna actually play games. Really? Yeah. Awesome.
Not better. Yeah. Could be even better.
Want to try it and have some fun? Hurry hard to your local curling center or visit CurlSask.ca to find a curling center near you.
Welcome back, everyone. We're keeping our eye on all of these games, and we'll bring the details to you as quickly as they happen. Susan, Kim, you've got another update for us?
This was a classic skips deuce here. Stephanie Lawton on her first one, looking at two little nibblers of Chisholm, couldn't get to them, so she drew around her tight yellow corner. Candace tried to run it in, missed it, and Stephanie drew for 2 points for a 3-1 lead.
And we saw the blank end on sheet 2, 4-0, Barker over Eberly.
Some really interesting shots here on the Silver-Nagel Howard game, but it all boiled down to where Robin had an open shot for 2 points and made no mistake for a 3-2 lead.
And over on sheet, I believe this is the 847th time of Hall Anderson. Sorry, just a
glitch in the microphone?
I think so.
Sorry,
I'm not
Kim.
really sure.
We've got
There we go. And I had such a funny line, too. I was trying to say that Holland... Oh.
They don't want you to say it.
They don't. They're trying to cut that. Save me.
Haven't got the heart to tell her that I keep hitting the mute button. It is Holland and Anderson, and she's trying to say it's the 847th meeting of the two teams here at the Scotties.
No, just the skips playing each other. Anyway, what I was trying to say is Holland gets to, it's kind of anticlimactic now. Holland gets to score there 3-1, Holland over Anderson.
I don't know, I thought it worked out okay. I got to be the one that told the joke. That's the way things are supposed to work.
You always look like the hero.
I don't have to write them all, I just have to tell them all. So fourth end action here in our feature game, and
Yeah, the line is...
we have a special guest joining us here in the studio for this end. Corey Fischel, the event chairperson for this event. No stranger to me, former boss.
All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. Okay.
So again, Haley Jameson goes deep into the rings. They do have a corner guard set up, but when your lead, Danielle Sosinski, is, may as well just walk those two rocks down.
I don't even mind just rolling.
Mind you, again, it's a 4-0 lead. We've watched this with Penny before,
okay with that.
and she's up 4 points. Why you want to rock up front is beyond sort of conventional strategy. And we've watched this before, and we've all sort of muttered away about, would you have put a center guard up? But this has been working for Penny. She just keeps that pressure on, kind of regardless what the scoreboard is may be saying to her, but
Little firm.
when your lead is putting two very nice rocks in there, you may as well go with it.
Well, and the other thing about it is, as you said, it's consistency. If they're going to play it the same way every time, it's part of the game plan, as long as you're not flip-flopping around.
That's a great shot, too.
Makes the hit on the corner guard, rolls the shooter all the way across the rings out of play. Corey, how exciting has this event been? There's been 8 round robin draws already. We're down to the last round robin draw. No playoff spots, 100% set. Possibly still tiebreakers tomorrow morning. Are you the one that's going to come and open the doors at 8 o'clock?
Yeah, apparently. There's a lot of people on crew that, including ice crew, that are wishing that the right games are, or the right people win the right games tonight. It's been a fantastic week. The volunteers have been great. The curling's been fantastic. The ice has been good, according to the ladies, and so we're all really happy to hear that.
And Corey, kudos to you as well. You have done a fantastic job.
Well, thank you. There's over 100 volunteers to put on this event, so they've all just been flat out working hard for a whole week at the event. I mean, then there was all the pre-planning, and it's just been really fun.
It's been a busy year for all, or a busy last few years for all of your volunteers, because we had the tankard here about 3 years ago, was it? You hosted a 2014 junior provincial last year, and now you've got 19 Scotties in the arena. You must have a fabulous group of people up here in the Melfort area.
We do. Our volunteers always come through for us, and as well as all of our sponsors. You know, our local sponsors always come to just totally help us out. So yeah, everybody's really come together to host all of these events lately.
Sorry, I'm going to go back to the curling game for just a second. This is going to get interesting. 4-0 lead, and you see lots of rocks in play. And the 2 guards out front were thrown there by the Barker team.
Even if we get a good angle, I guess.
Like if you forget the score for a second.
You guys can get pretty intense up here, eh?
Okay.
You don't even want to know how many sheets of paper we've got trying to figure out the playoff scenarios yet.
I know. That's about the same amount that we've all been trying to figure out, too.
But it is that uncertainty, the suspense that makes this last draw so exciting.
Oh,
you've got quite the crowd
absolutely.
tonight as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a lot. You know that every game is important. And, yeah, so everybody's excited to see what happens.
Looking for the double peel here. Able to get both the guards out of the way. The shooter still stays for a bit of a center.
Nice shot, though, by Larissa.
Corey, we alluded to the fact that you've had a couple of events here in recent years, and we were talking to Mitch Minkin this afternoon as well. I had mentioned that in the time that I've been doing this is the 4th community where we've had the chance to go back to the 2nd time.
Right.
And do you find that, be it a Scotties or a tankard, it doesn't matter which order, when you're holding this second big event in such a short space of time, does everything fall into place a little bit easier? You almost have a template as to how you're going to do it. A lot of the volunteers likely the same.
Yeah, it definitely helps. Everybody's still got, even the last juniors, still on their mind, and everybody did the same jobs. And yeah, so it's a lot easier, I think. Everybody knows exactly what needs to go into the whole week to make it happen. So yeah, it works if you keep hosting them. And thankfully, we keep hosting them so that our curling rink doors stay open. So it's just really important to host these events.
Are the 50-50s going to the curling club?
Yes, they are.
Because the pots have just been getting larger and larger every night. That's got to be helping quite a bit.
Absolutely, absolutely. And people, it's a lot of fun. It gave me a hard time, though. I won the first pot. Tuesday night. What are the chances?
That's not going to go over well with Kim. She's been very unhappy with the 50-50 because you keep drawing the wrong ticket. It's not hers.
What do I have to do to fix it?
So is there a particular project at the club that the money is for? Is general operating expenses? What's kind of the plan?
Right now, we actually this year have just purchased brand new rocks for our club. And that was including some of the funds from our the juniors, some from the tankard 4 years ago. And yeah, so I don't know what our next project will be yet. But yeah, we're always trying to keep the doors open too. I mean, that's definitely tough to do these days.
Come right here.
according to what somebody told me, I think your next project might be getting those rocks across the border. Is that the?
Yeah.
They've
Oh my
been held
gosh.
up at customs.
They were supposed to be here for this event, because then we had brand new rocks to play with. We were pretty excited about that. We ordered them over almost a full year ago.
Coming
But
from
yeah,
Scotland,
they've been held
I believe
up.
I heard.
Yes, they did.
Is that K's?
Yes. Yeah. So, but they finally left the border now, so they're actually going to make it.
So you'll have them
hopefully
here just in
sometime.
time for summer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sean, I know you're visiting with your friend, but are you watching what's happening? This is going to get very interesting down here.
Well.
And she told me she doesn't even really like talking to you anyway. So.
No, she never did.
Considering what the scoreboard is, we're play and up.
Coming around those two stones at the top of the 4-foot now, and we'll sit on the side of the button to sit 2.
That works.
I don't think the angle is there to move both reds with the yellow-red combination.
No, but you can certainly remove the one that's the most buried right about now.
Yeah, and you can certainly sit 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Same weight. Okay. 10-5. Let's go.
The other thing, Corey, we should thank you for, and perhaps say that you know your organizing committee this time around did a much better job than the last time around, because we didn't get that 50 below weather this time around.
Oh, I was praying just after Christmas there when it was so cold. I was looking at the long-term forecast, hoping and praying for warmer weather. So, yeah, I'm very thankful for that.
Well, that was not the plan, I don't think, but
no.
they'll take
the job
it.
done too.
It's just been a struggle matching broom and weight out there in execution. But now that's a very vulnerable red stone.
Yeah, sure. I was a little nervous if I was the Barker team.
Well, because then if we can freeze on it, they can only get 2 now, right?
Yeah. I think the only reason why that one stopped at a 14.5 was it was kind of going sideways at the end.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. I don't think it'll run quite the same.
I think with you, if you give us a 15 or 14.5, like the same way we can get it there,
yeah.
I think it'll go a little bit further.
Yeah.
So go for 14.5.
Yeah.
So looking to come down to the back stone, I think.
I always find it interesting. The women are still very numerically oriented in defining draw weights, hit weights. Watching the Olympic trials on TV, the men, it's just, it's a little heavier than what it has been. Like they define it very differently.
Make sure.
You gotta go.
Line's good.
Line's good.
Really good line. Needs to curl if anything.
Sliding.
Hey, whoa, girl. Whoa, that's long.
Well, they had been on this early, but now they've backed away. Is there a chance they overswept this just a little bit?
Okay.
Struggling with that spot. It slides down, rubs that stone, but ends up in the back 12-foot. It's 4th shot right now.
If it did, that would be actually probably. If it ever does, it's fine. So where do we want to put the shooter on this? Do we want to try and get to the nose? Well, but then we can also give up a big triple, right? 5? If we left it there. What if we did that? Well,
But then that gives up a hit and a roll if you roll a shooter over.
I want to like give her the free, right? So I think we roll off. Okay. So 10-5.
I think you want to roll off just a little bit just to make sure that you do clear that red one back past that 8-foot one that's on the center line there.
Actually, I don't think she minds if she clips that. She said if she clips it, it probably goes on to the red. I think she is. She's worried about the triple, but there you go. You don't want to roll far enough that you're not sitting 3 at least.
Pass the red. Pass what red? The back one?
Well, nice opportunity here for the Everly team.
Well, I feel like she's going to hit this one that I'm going to shoot in. She's going to probably try that double. But at least it's just the double and not the... So just 10-5. So just roll it into the 8-foot. If you can roll past, that's great.
Okay, let's do this.
There you go. You hear the explanation.
Well, time for a big shot here.
Chantel Eberly, team has not had the start they were looking for here in this game. A chance with a win to still perhaps move into first place. This is the best chance they've had to put some pressure on the Barker team. Makes the hit. The red does clear the back stone, but the shooter's going to roll just a bit too far. It does leave Chantel sitting 2 for the time being, and she does have those 2 biters around the outside, so Penny Barker's going to have to be a little bit careful here. She leaves a double, and it would be for 5.
Do you like the same weight or a hair less than a stone sweep?
But this intern coming in is just so much straighter than what we've seen all week, and it's still captured, you know, it's still puzzling everybody out here.
It's pretty close. You just have to be off it a little sooner.
If we freeze on there, is there like a thin double or anything?
Yeah.
No. No? Okay.
No, if we freeze on there, it's
okay.
They'll be drawing for 1.
She's looking at playing the freeze on the back.
Same weight.
Again, thinking that it would leave a draw for 1. I'm not sure that it wouldn't still be for 2.
Well, I like her confidence. She said we freeze on theirs, they draw for 1, which is right. You'd sure hate to bounce off that freeze by a minimum little bit and give them a double for 5. But
exactly what I was thinking, and you could freeze the top one too, and still probably hold her to 2.
Exactly.
But again, that's one thing you're taught is you don't talk about the bad thing like that, because then sometimes that you just about wish it.
I think we're close. Yep. Okay, we're okay. Whoa.
Line's fine.
Whoa, line's
Can't
okay.
go yet. Line only.
Needs to curl if anything.
We're running again. Line only. We're running. Can we
This
freeze
is a
on
long
ours?
ways out there yet, and it's going to have to curl. This has got a lot of weight as well.
Can we freeze on ours?
This is sliding right by the yellow one for sure.
No, we can't take it out.
Needs to roll in behind the yellow a little bit.
Hey.
Boy, did she tap that far enough back that this might just be a single for 4 or 5.
She kind of just got lucky there, right?
Well, if this only leaves a shot for 3, then she definitely did get very lucky there.
I think there could be. I don't think he could quite see enough.
Judging by the way they're talking, I'd say it is.
No, we got to hit that top one, no? Yeah. Yeah. I think we just dropped it. Yeah, we got to play that.
Looks like they're just...
Anybody want to put any bets around the 2 at the back as to who's got 3rd shot? Or 4th shot, I guess it would be right now.
Well, I think if we listen, we're going to find out. They're going to tell us who's 4th shot.
You're good.
Corey, you've been awfully quiet. You're not going to pick who's got...
I like it.
Yeah, that's
How far do we have to move this?
Huh.
Well, I really
Terry's
like
trying to get creative with the camera angles. I'm
I
not
think
sure
you
that's
try
going to
it.
help.
Play the same weight. Yeah, you play
It's
the
close.
same
It's
weight.
really close.
9-5? Yeah, we got to be careful. I don't think you need big weight. Just bumper.
You know, I haven't seen them go over there to look at the yellow one yet. I don't know whether they've...
Well, they're going to try to hit what they can see of that red with quiet rate and hope to touch the second red on the way by and perhaps get 5 points.
I feel like it's going to run.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
it might be 4 even if she doesn't touch that. And that's the thing. I don't think they've ever gone over to look at that rock after the 2 of them touch. The one at the front is definitely 6.
If you're close with line, you're sticking around for 3, right?
And it was congested back there trying to get the sweep, so that red rock that did get tapped back never had a sweep on it. They were all trying to sweep the shooter coming in to keep the pace up. But you win or lose a measurement, that could just be a difference there. But there was the one sort of more conservative call here is we could draw for 3. And down 4-0, that still puts you right back in the game. But Chantel never afraid to play the higher risk chance if she's got a chance to score more.
They did consider the draw, but not for very long. They got to go on this to get by their own stone. Has to get as tight to that yellow as they can to touch the red. And just goes by the one at the back. It's 3 for sure. I still don't know if anybody's taken a look at that yet. And they called it 3 right away.
Guess it wasn't even close.
So Chantel Eberly on the board with 3 points here in the 4th. And Penny Barker will have last rock in the 5th.
Oh Canada, glowing hearts, see thee rise. True north, true pride, strong and free, both far and wide. This land is glorious, and it's ours. From sea to shining sea.
You're always home on Canada's largest wireless network with no roaming fees.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Well, here we are.
Welcome back, everyone.
Here we are again, looking at sheet 1, and again a story of deuces in the fourth end. Stephanie Lawton trying to do a double top 12-foot to 4-foot, only got the one, allowing Candace an open draw for 2 to tie that game at 3-3, and they are deep into the 5th on Skip Rocks.
Well, we saw all the excitement on sheet 2. It was 3, could have almost been 5, but 4-3, Barker over Eberly.
And we get a chance to take a look at that final stone for Chantel Eberly. Had to get just by her own stone, could have stood to be a little bit tighter, passes it by the red at the back, and they decided it was 3. I'm really surprised that they didn't take a closer look at that, perhaps run a measure by it.
And here we are at the Howard game. In the fourth end, it looked like Silvernagel was in control for the fours. Looked like a jam late in the end there, and Ashley had the open shot for 2, and she's taken the lead at 4-3.
And over on sheet 4, it was a pretty open end, blanked 4th, so the score remains the same, 3-1. Holland playing Anderson in the 5th end.
So Chantel Eberly called for the center guard here, and we see the come-around attempt by Danielle Sasinski. Puts it on the tee line, but it came right out into the open on the other side.
Well, it is a pretty long center guard.
Haley Jameson will look to make the hit and roll under cover now. And this one's hanging out. The decision comes out at the end to roll away because they didn't want to leave the short roll in behind cover. Maybe a little late to try to do that, though. This is going to be about a, she needed just a bit more than a rock's width to get in behind cover. Danielle Sasinski with her out turn hit.
10.5 maybe.
Whoa.
Almost bored.
Lorraine? Close. Yep, yeah, let's go the other way. Yep. Whoa. Just slow it.
And another rock running, so they're going to play the roll to the open side.
And that's with really easy weight. Like, I think she underthrew what was called, and that still didn't get up to the broom, or up to the rock.
Makes the hit, but this is going to roll past the guard out into the open on the other side.
Well, they've gone to school from the first couple of ends down there where there were a lot of overthrows down that spot, so they're making the adjustments that they need to.
Before I forget, we want to thank Corey Fischel for joining us last in. If she wanted to talk a lot, though, she maybe picked the wrong end to come. We had a lot of action going on, and we couldn't even get her to guess who was fourth shot.
Yeah. Who'd have thought? In the fourth end it would get that exciting.
Clean yet. No.
Well,
you wanted to stick around
didn't
there.
sound encouraging on the sweep call. Makes the hit, but rolls the shooter out of play.
Don't mind ripping it.
That'll give Penny Barker the chance to peel the center guard. She'd be happy with a blank end here.
So just getting ready to watch Stephanie Lawton throw her last shot here in the first end. She's in quite a little bit of trouble. She's looking at 2 buried on back forefoot, back bite of the forefoot. And she's got to go a long ways out around some guards to try to capture the full force. So she might, she's got her work cut out here to find shot rock.
Tight 3. If you slide in, that's fine. Okay, Christy. All there. Tight. All there. We're a little on the tight side.
Christy Gamble looking to put the center guard back up, but a little tighter to the ring this time.
And Stephanie Lawton has sailed this through the ring, so this looks like a very big steal of 2 points for Candace Chisholm.
Just
Take
able
a
to
5-3 lead to go into the 5th end break.
quickly caught that as it was sliding through the rings, but big swing in that game. The guard attempt slides in, so Deanna Doig will make an attempt to hit at that, and they might try to stay on this one. They would have peeled had it been a guard.
Oh, just clean, fine. What's that? No, just clean, or no. Okay. 9.5. Okay.
Christy Gamble now going to have to make a play on that stone. They'll try to hit it right on the nose. And we've got things going on sheet 4 as well.
Yes, we've got 1 rock remaining for Amber Holland, and Sherry Anderson does have the last rock here. Sherry, as we get the 4th end set up here, Amber Holland is shot rock, top of the button behind center guard. Sherry is 2nd and 3rd. Shot deep or back in the forefoot. Sherry had just tried to come around and tap that red, but just touched the center guard. Amber, it looks like, is called to sit down right on top of her forefoot one there.
Yeah, she freezes to her own, which should be sitting 2, I think. And I don't know how Sherry Anderson gets them out. There's a wall behind them. Is there room? If she freezes to her own, you think it's 2, or do you think it'd still be just 1? It's hard to tell. There's yellows at the back of the forefoot as well.
Yes, well, I think if Amber can get this in position, she will be sitting 2.
You think 2? I think it would be 2-2. It's hard to tell. We'll see this as it comes into the house here. She freezes right to her own.
So Amber's red.
It's a little bit short of that, but it is lined up to the red. So Amber Holland definitely sitting 1 at the top of the button.
And this game is important for Sherry Anderson at the 3 losses. Nobody wants to go to 4 because you need help. So Sherry trying to control her own destiny, stay in the playoff hunt and remain at 3 losses, come out of here with 5 wins. So a really big shot here, with Amber already having a 3-1 lead.
Doesn't look like she feels she's got anything available on those 2 reds in the middle, so looking to come off of her own and perhaps get just the single point. We did have a nose hit on our feature sheet, so now a chance for Chantal Eberle to come around with her first stone, and if not steal, then at least perhaps get a force here in the 5th.
Though, hey? Yeah, you can start to go now. No. No, Christy.
No, it looks like it's
Christy,
extremely deep.
Wow. Okay.
You can see that 1 guard there, the left on Sherry Anderson's sheet. It's actually in the way of that yellow that would be about 4th shot on the side of the 8-foot. Otherwise, she could come in off that stone.
Up to you, Penny.
Sherry did call a timeout, so if you're wondering if that they might be taking a little extra time here, their regular time clock isn't working, and they have 15 seconds left on their time call.
Looks like she is lining up something to try to play the 2 reds.
What if we play Penny? Hack or back line? What if we played hack? Like try for the yellow, play hack, and then if you split them both on.
Yeah, that's not a bad option either.
Whatever you want to
or
throw,
back
Penny.
line. Like you have half, Penny. Penny, it's up to you, whatever you like to throw.
I just want to make sure we stick. Otherwise, she's going to make it.
I just want to let her know
Yeah.
she has half.
No, exactly. We have to stick. If we don't think we're going to stick, then I like to draw.
I think we can.
Okay.
Do you like that?
Okay.
That rock is just outside the 12-foot. I quite liked the suggestion that came in from the front end. We could sort of play an either or here and sit possibly first, second, first and third, put some pressure on.
I think that's what they've opted for, and Sherry Anderson, it appears, has opted to try to make a double on the reds.
The red that Amber just threw. And they're on this rock right away. Big sweep call.
Hoping to catch the second one thin enough, I guess, to try to drive it by her own at the back. Makes the hit on the first one, drives the second one, but jams it dead on the back, and it will be a steal of one for Amber Holland there.
And that's a 4-1 lead at their fifth end break.
Back line. Whoa. Stay close.
Room.
Yes.
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 Room.
Hard. Yes.
Penny Barker
Hard.
attempting to come by the tight red guard and make a play on that yellow at the back. Good job by the brushers to hold the line. Makes the hit and actually flops further in behind cover. Not sure that that flop in behind is what they had planned, though. If Chantel comes right down to that now, you're probably forced here.
Well, and the sweepers had to get that one by, though,
Yeah.
because the tick wasn't even going to put the red rock in the rings. He would have probably just feathered off of it and gone through right out of play. So great sweep there, too, although that might not have been Penny's ideal call. She wanted to roll it open a little bit. It was certainly better than just touching that guard and getting nothing.
Didn't hear the call. What do you think, Susan? Are you playing right down to the face of that and just being content with the force, or do you try for the steal and risk perhaps giving up another deuce?
I think I'd be happy with the draw down. Just after that big three-ender, like you just hate, you've got a little momentum going. You would really burst the balloon to give up two at this point.
She's got a lot of room. They are coming right to it. She's going to have to cross that center line a bit. Line starting to get there now. Puts it in the back 8-foot, well in front of that stone, and I don't think there's any chance Penny Barker can pass that by the one at the back. She's either got to take one here, or would she ever dare play for the blank? She was looking at those two stones back there, but
than what Shani had?
calling the draw. She's going to try to take her single here.
Well, we need less.
So this is a good time to mention the sponsorship and gifts from Hilberg and Burke. Over on the left-hand side of the screen is Steph Schmidt, and she works there as the graphic art consultant. Deanna Doig, you can see her sparkly earrings. Every one of the teams here got a pair of sparkle balls, and Steph Schmidt made sure that they all matched the team jackets.
Well,
so thank you very much, Hilberg and Burke. The sparkle balls are a tremendous idea, and everybody just loves them.
Looks like lots.
I can't get Coach Mark Lang to wear his out on the ice, though. I offered to bring him the duct tape.
We got no line.
Well, Penny Barker needing to draw a little better than just full 8-foot, and they have backed away from this one. She's got a lot of weight, and so far a lot of line. Christy Gamble ready at the tee line to see how far back she can get this one to slide. And it's going to slide too far. It's going to be a steal of one for Chantel Eberly, and we're all tied up after 5 ends of play. Well, we've seen a couple of swings like that. The steal in the first end came out of nowhere as well on a bit of a miscue on the last shot. And same thing here in the fifth. We're all tied up. It's like starting all over. Chantel Eberly is with Kim Hudson. Kim, take it away.
Hi, Chantel. We're going to turn around this way. That's been a wild and woolly game so far.
Yeah, maybe it's just a bit of nerves maybe on both parts. It seems to be a little pumped up and a little heavy on a lot of shots, but I mean, it's okay. Well, I mean, a 10-9 game, once we got down 4, it was kind of wasn't very good, but we're working hard just to get back in the game.
Yeah, I mean, you know better than anybody, this is a big game for everybody involved tonight. Okay, I have to ask you your comments on the 4th end.
The fourth end.
That was your shot from perhaps 5.
It was, but it actually wasn't there. I probably hit as much of that rock as I could. I hit it, I couldn't throw any more weight at it. So, I mean, I don't think it was, in the end, was there. So I made it the best I could. At least we got 3 out of it, and I didn't clip my own rock.
Exactly, and right now it's tie game, so all the best to you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for talking to us, Chantel.
Saskatchewan Championship Curling is brought to you by Viterra, SaskTel, Service Equipment, White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, Jiffy Lube, CurlSask, and SaskTel Max.
Introducing the all-new heated cab for the John Deere 1R tractor. Simply captivating.
When you need to hurry, you can count on Team Jiffy Lube. With fast, warranty-approved service while you wait. Jiffy Lube, your oil change experts.
Totally my first time. I'm very excited. Don't worry, we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna throw the rock and practice, and then we're gonna actually play games. Really? Yeah. Awesome.
Not be better. Could have been better.
Want to try it and have some fun? Hurry hard to your local curling center or visit CurlSask.ca to find a curling center near you.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Oh, Canada, glowing hearts, see thee rise. True north, true pride, strong and free, both far and wide. This land is glorious, and it's ours, from sea to shining sea.
You're always home on Canada's largest wireless network with no roaming fees.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, a lot of scores to tell you about, and we'll get right to it. Susan, Kim?
Yes, we saw that steal of 2 that Stephanie Lawton gave up when she was trying to find a side of the 4-foot there that was really difficult to get to. She's a little bit heavy, slid past, and 5-3, and they're on thirds rocks in the 6th end.
And this is our feature game. We saw that steal of 1 by Chantel Eberly ties this game up 4-4.
An open end here in the 5th end, just remains at a blank, and it's 4-3 playing 6, but they're watching the time clocks already over there. They're not bad, but they banked a little bit of time there in the 5th.
And over on sheet 4, we saw that steal by Amber Holland make the score there 4-1. Anderson.
Well, I really enjoyed Chantel's comments there. Very honest, saying, you know, I think we were fighting some nerves out there and weren't getting our weight control. And
yeah, we all know that this final game is life and death to a lot of people, and yeah, it means a lot.
Well, it was funny, even just in the break here, I took the headphones off just to hear even the 3 sheets that we're playing on the ice, and there's more noise in the crowd. It's like playoff hockey now. Everything's just more intense. The sweep calls are louder. Like, you can just feel the tension, excitement in the air that, you know, there's a lot of people won't be playing tomorrow if they don't come out with a victory.
That's right, lots at stake.
Well, Haley Jamieson got the guard up with her first stone. Danielle Sosinski slipped a little deep. So a chance for the come around for Haley now.
Go for line and everything. Go, go, go. Should be Larissa in. Should be. Go, go, go. Hard, hard, hard.
Had to go for line there to get some curl. Perhaps a hair deep.
Back line weight. Same weight, same. Back line, same weight.
Well,
Yeah, seems good.
it is close to the same weight, but it never feels good when you were playing a draw in your first one and then you're asked to throw back line on the second one and they say, well, same thing, same you've been throwing for draws.
Yeah, you don't ever want to say that out loud, even if you know they're thinking it.
Firm back line, though.
Whoa. Wait for it a little bit.
This one's a long ways out as well. We saw a couple of ends ago, both teams having a little trouble getting the curl in this spot.
It's happening again.
Oh, and she could just tick this further in behind.
You can feel the momentum swing a little bit.
Yeah, a bit of a choice here for Chantel to make. But you've just got yourself back into the game here, and even though your own rock just got bumped behind the tee line and you're hitting their 2 rocks behind the tee, you certainly don't want those rocks coming back into play to haunt and giving up a multiple. So playing probably the very safe, smart choice here and making sure reds don't accumulate.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Sure would be tempting to throw one top 4 around there too, but I certainly understand where this shot's coming from.
If it was later in the game, you might look at it a little differently, but you've just gone through the roller coaster here of being down and struggling. And, and then
I know.
That shot is that works out quite well for them.
Yeah, sure does. Just gives Penny's team the opportunity to get on top of that first, that's all. But it has to be made.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with the force here.
True. Back to an even end too, which is very important.
Weight's close.
Lorraine Schneider. The in-turn draw now. They found that out-turn took a long time to come across, so they're going to play it from the other side.
Well, we saw a lot of these a few ends ago.
Sliding. Danielle, a little bit, yep. Go. Yep. Hard.
Trying to get the curl. Just keep moving that around.
It's enough to nudge it, and it is the Reds sitting shot rock for the time being, but it's fully out in the open.
Yeah, great opportunity now for the Eberly team to get a little inside flop and under, and things will be looking pretty nice for the Eberly team.
She can flop to sit in front of her own stone. This stone that's about to be delivered would be mostly in front of the tee line, probably straddle it a little bit.
Larissa always does like throwing hits, so when Chantel first suggested hack, Larissa saying 10, meaning more weight, but I think you need to keep the weight down so that you can try to get just that little roll under. With 10 seconds, you've got to be very precise with that hit and roll. This gives your sweepers a bit more of an opportunity to help out with the line. Haley trying to get just a little curl on it, not quite.
Takes the nose hit, not a bad result though, sits 3.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
And I'm not sure if the hit and roll under would be shot rock.
Kind of like the double. Yeah.
That shot was very close to being made, but it was probably heavy hack, not light hack, and just that difference of curling. They just needed ½ inch more curl to get a little bit more of a move towards the center line.
We can throw 10.5.
Whatever you like, but we're
As we've said, this ice is very weight sensitive.
Hit the 2/3.
Okay.
So looking for the double here. like to hold the shooter. I'm not sure if she can make the double and hold the shooter for shot rock.
10. 10.
Makes the hit, does catch the second stone, and the shooter will stop in time to still be shot rock.
And just easy weight. Like that was about the same weight that Larissa just threw. So that's barely bored and still made the double.
Nice shot by Lorraine.
Christy Gamble makes the hit, stays right there. It is Chantel Eberly sitting 2 for the time being. Room now to make the hit and roll behind cover and be in front of the tee line, though.
Okay.
Sweeping for the curl now. Makes the hit. Rolls just a couple of inches into the 8-foot. It is still second shot.
10. That way is good, Christy.
Chantel Eberly now asking her third Christy Gamble to make the hit and roll behind cover.
Weight's good.
And again, nothing out of the brushers.
Oh, this is disaster.
This is on the outside a little bit. It's going to come into the yellow at the back.
Okay.
Not quite disaster.
Yeah,
It manages to kill both reds.
Say that.
I think she was worried it was going to stuff it right on the back there.
You like that?
Yeah.
You like that? It's up to you.
Just trying to read Christy's sign language to see what she did with that. I don't know if she thought she pointed it out a little bit so it didn't come in, or
Top 4.
Well, and the Penny Barker team, who does have lost rock here, says, well, let's get in around there better first. See if they can manufacture multiple.
Not much chance for a blank anymore with that little biter hanging on the outside.
Can't go. Can't go, did you say? Okay. Coming down now. Okay, Danielle
You
only.
got lots of room.
Danielle only. Okay, go for weight. We gotta go. Okay, go. Hard,
Carry
guys,
it,
hard.
carry it hard.
Hard.
Keep it going.
Hard, keep going hard. You got
All
it.
the way, Danielle. Go.
All the way hard. Keep going. Hard.
Come on, go.
Nice weight, seemed to take its time, but I think it's about half undercover, perhaps.
It sounded like it
Feel
fooled
like we
them a
can
little
do
bit.
this?
The first call the sweepers made was that they can't go. They
Yeah.
thought it perhaps was a little bit heavy.
Okay, so 11, 11-5.
Sure. Theory, just pick it out.
Okay, yeah, because we could roll out if we had to.
Exactly.
11. Okay. Watch the back one. 11.
Okay.
If we roll out, that's fine.
Yeah. Don't need to play it cute, right?
No.
We got 2 in there.
Yeah.
Okay. You got this.
Yeah.
Chantel Eberly, a chance to try to pass this by her own at the back. She's got to be a little bit careful not to hit it too thick.
Yeah, they do have to navigate.
Rolling out, but not the end of the world here.
No. You can't clean. We're not on.
Haley.
Now they're going on the offside sweep, looking to get some curl. Needs to get a solid piece of this stone to get it out.
Go, Christy. All you
That's
got.
a pretty good
enough
result.
to push it through the back of the rings.
goodness for lively houses and lively rocks on that shot.
And we're turning our attention really quickly here to sheet 3. Robin Silvernagle with her final stone.
Trying
might
to
have a
double
chance for a double
several
for
points here.
a pile. Jams on one of her stones at the back, and it looks like it'll be just 2. But that will put Robin into the lead after 6 ends.
Well, Ashley Howard was actually sitting about 3 rocks in there in the power positions until Jolene Campbell came down and tripled things out. All of a sudden, it's advantage Silvernagel, but Ashley Howard on her first one had a beautiful saving draw on her first one to nestle in and really take away probably a potential 3 or 4 ender there. But Robin still gets 2 for the 1-point lead now.
Penny Barker still a chance to get the deuce set up here if she can bury one, just biting the top of the forefoot.
Yeah, coming around again.
Starting to go. Yeah. We can wait. They want room. No, it's running.
Yeah, it's not quite as close to the guard as Deanna's was.
Finish it, Danielle. Finish it hard. Hard, yep. Hard. Go. Push.
Looks nice at the end.
Yes, it moved over a long way.
Yeah.
Gets it into the top of the forefoot, but does look like there's still a piece of that available.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very similar to the shot that Chantel just threw.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't. No, that's good.
You have less of this one, so.
Yeah, no, Chantel's right. She does have to bring her weight down a little bit to try to catch a little bit of a curl, and Larissa was saying how you can certainly see less of this compared to the first one. But again, so she probably wants to take a little bit of weight off. She thought she overthrew her first one.
Yeah.
But if you do pick it up a little bit, it'll just skate right by.
Well, they've called the sweep on earlier on this one than we've seen it. Has to get by the guard out front. She's by the guard, still has to get it by her own at the back of the 8-foot. It will. The shooter's going to hang around, so she sits 3. Penny Barker will have to draw once again, needing just a little bit better than full 8-foot for a single point. She slid deep on a similar attempt last end.
Good sweeping by the Everly team to get that by, and now we do see Penny facing 3, but just throwing the same shot she just threw. Except now it counts a little more.
Counts a little more, that's for sure. Well, if Penny Barker ever has a pick, it's certainly not because she isn't thorough cleaning that rock. She uses each sleeve, the glove, the bare hand. It should be clean when she throws.
Yeah.
One more weight. Hair more. Whoa, then.
Looks like a lot more.
A lot more. Whoa. We can't. Can we
Well, Penny Barker, she was a little heavy on the draw attempt last end. Brushers feel like she's warm here as well, and they've backed right away. Christy Gamble ready at the tee line. Needs to get this through the 8-foot to get a single point, and if she can get it far enough into the 12, might get 2. It does rub that shot stone, so it's just a steal of 1, but that's enough to put Chantel Eberly into the lead for the first time in this game. Penny Barker will keep last rock into end number 7.
Take your Share More plan with you and enjoy worry-free data in the U.S. The all-new Share More Canada and U.S. plan, now available from SaskTel.
Introducing the all-new heated cab with a John Deere 1R tractor. Simply captivating.
Welcome back, everyone. Every time we turn our heads, something is going on one of these other sheets. We're going to quickly update you on all these scores in all of this crucial final round robin draw. Susan, Kim?
It was Candace Chisholm's turn to run the double in order to prevent this two-ender, but Candace hit and rolled out, and Stephanie had the open shot for her, 2 points to tie. And as you can tell, they're on first of the skip rocks here in the 7th end.
And on sheet 2, we saw that steal of 1 by Chantal Eberly. So the score is 5-4, playing the 7th, sorry.
When we flashed over to the Robin Silvernagel game, Robin was attempting a double. She made the double, might have curled a little bit more for even more points, but she did pick up 2 and take a 5-4 lead going into 7.
And over on the 4th, Sherry Anderson was looking at 2 Holland Stones, made her nice draw to the 4-foot for her 1 point. So the score there, 4-2 in favor of Holland. I thought by now we would be able to give you some scenarios and perhaps the way things might work out, but it's still too confusing. These games are all way too close.
Well, there are a few things we know. We know.
Like what?
The final will be Sunday afternoon.
Little bit. We gotta go. Yeah.
Final will be Sunday at 5, the semi at noon. We know there will be draws tomorrow at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Can't tell you for sure which games will be played at that time because it all depends on the possible tiebreaker scenarios. There could still be a draw at 9 o'clock in the morning.
We just went hard on them.
And while maybe there are a number of organizers and maybe, dare I say it, just a few announcers who don't want to have to be here at 9 o'clock in the morning, it is awfully exciting that there are still that many combinations available.
That's true, and one more draw just gets people back in the building and perhaps a little more money for the Melfort Curling Club.
Yep, yes, yes, hold it hard! Hard, 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 hard. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
However, I did hear from Boss Carrie that should there be a tiebreaker tomorrow morning at 9, that you're running that one solo, Sean.
That included the cameras. Yep.
95?
Sure, that's...
Yeah, tolerance is light. Yeah.
Well, that one would just be on the website, I believe. But for those watching on SaskTel Max, we will be here for all the playoff games.
Wait only.
Yes, it just gets more and more exciting from here on in.
So already play around the center guard here. And Danielle Sosinski with another nice draw to the top 4 foot.
Go,
But
go right off it. Okay.
oh boy.
Looking to sit on top of that stone, but rubs off and sits at the corner of the 4 foot.
You can roll into this one, but
Kind of one of those, when you're still trying to steal, you do like the center guards up there, but you just really don't need that opposition rock sitting on the top button.
I don't know what I like.
Yeah.
Like this will go just behind the button. We do this. That's pretty good.
I don't mind rolling under, but
I don't think it does roll under. I think it rolls into the red.
You don't like rolling under?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Yeah. We're gonna be
Well, there must be room.
I think it's back a little deeper than you think, Sean.
Whatever you like, Penny. I like it. It's good. Just a 10 and a half.
Please, God, let us be right, Susan.
What am I throwing?
Lorraine Schneider with the in-turn hit attempt. They jumped this right out of her hand. By the guard. Now is it going to be thin enough to stay? Well, you can get under if you just touch it.
There. You were right, Kim.
Woohoo.
We could run, but this is shrinks the scoring quite a bit. Okay.
It's a good call by Chantel, just playing the corner freeze.
Yeah, I think you've had things going your way the last 3 ends. Why not keep the pressure on?
Yep.
And you do have a relatively short yellow rock up front to work with if push comes to shove.
If you can make the good freeze, you may eventually be able to turn this into a steal situation.
So Larissa just needing to take about 2 or 3 feet of weight off of this shot. She's pretty close last time, but it was just enough to bounce off.
This is a long ways out, though.
It hasn't done a thing. Okay, go. I don't know.
Chantel thinking it's got to be heavy because it's not curling at all.
Yeah.
Going around.
They're going to go around it.
Okay, that's too bad.
We're into it. I think we freeze to ours.
Right here.
I don't know whether it's the difference between the women and the men, but was Chantel really, is that the thing she was thinking? That's just too bad? Or is she just aware she had a mic on?
I think she might be aware she had a mic on.
You know, that weight's just not that terribly far off, but
no,
a lot more rotation.
Might
have to go a little bit.
Well, and they didn't lay a brush to it. So we see Lorraine playing the freeze.
You're right, so to catch the curl, you probably need about that top 12-foot weight and then
sweep weight. Yep.
Well, she's catching the curl. This one's really going. She's
quite light,
a little bit light, yeah.
Okay, well. Get a little tip that you can. Okay.
Chips off the guard just a little bit. I'm not so sure that doesn't actually help the Eberly team, though. She's guarded second shot rock, and now it's getting tough to catch enough of the forefoot to sit to.
Yeah.
Chantel looking at the setup shot.
So
looking at the
top
setup
8
shot there, but
this is fine.
still leaves something on the other side. Whether or not Penny would play it right away or not, that's
and this also gives
matter.
Chantel a setup shot too, right? If they can get edge to edge so that Penny can't play it, but it might be able to be promoted later by the Eberly team.
Well, that's just it. You have to be very careful with the placement of this yellow one because you don't want to have to leave a slash double for the opposition.
No. I don't understand.
Chantel starting to sound a tiny bit frustrated.
I think she's just letting him go. Like, it doesn't look like she's putting, like she's just popping her hand off. They're floating or
open that up a bit. I can tap it here.
Okay.
Did sound like Chantel a little frustrated as to the difference in the reaction that she's getting from Larissa to Christy.
Try and clean things up a bit. That should come in.
Well, looks like Penny's going to maybe open things up a bit.
Four guards across and difficult to get two of them to go away without leaving your shooter there.
You have one pad.
Do you want a time? What do you like, Larry?
Deanna Doig going to make her way down, take a look at the situation.
Do you want a timeout or?
You might have to.
They're still tracking two there, 3.5 minutes and then kind of a target, but.
So they're going to call timeout.
Yeah, time not really a factor. But we are going to see.
Worried they were going to take a while here, so they thought they better call one.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd hate to move this one though. Like you played
Hopefully somebody goes and stands close to Murph so we can hear his words of wisdom.
Well, and this might be advantageous for Chantel at also, you know, in your opposition calls, and they've been struggling with some of their technical components, that now you've got a chance to go talk to the coach here and say, Chantel, can, you know, we heard the frustration.
We could just draw there, but we
have one shot at it. That's the only thing.
I know.
I kind of like, well, I guess we're not really opening it up.
No.
What if you crotch these?
That's what I was thinking.
That's probably coming through, and this is probably going.
If we don't throw like a ton of weight, like only like a 10, this will stay.
Yeah.
And this
I
will
mean,
go.
we're opening it up, but at this
I
point,
think we're better to try to get the 4 to spin in than the shooter.
yeah, for sure.
This isn't quite
But
big
I'm saying
enough.
if you do crouch them, the 4's going off the wire back.
Yeah, I thought you meant my shooter. It's
Well,
not.
I mean, it'll probably wiggle a bit, but.
If you ever miss the 1, no.
And with 15 seconds left in
Could be in
timeout, they're going
trouble.
to let Merv speak,
Yeah.
but he's not standing close to a mic.
Yeah.
What do you like to?
I don't know.
Bye, Marv.
Time is back in.
Like the top one?
Tim Baber out to shoot.
Well, I don't mind throwing some weight at it.
Merv down the runway there.
Yes, one of the girls.
And opening it up.
Hi, Merv.
Are we topping or are we opening it up?
Okay.
But,
Oh,
So
again,
thin
the
on the
benefit
floor?
of long-term relationships.
or we try this and
That's
I
pretty
don't
funny.
love
leave
that.
because we still do have this.
I think we
but
say
Still don't think we have a decision, though.
No.
I like the cap.
Okay, I tap the 4.
Looks like
Gotta
the
make a
decision's
call
been
here.
made. Tapping the 4 rock, which is that one just off center, or the between the yellow and the red.
What's the final
Tap.
consensus? Okay.
Deanna, the tap just straight back.
Okay. So I need like back 8.
Back line weight. Back
So
line.
14.
I don't know, Kim. Would you not have been tempted to throw some weight here and get some rocks moving around? And
I might have been doing a little bit more of that all game already, to be more than honest.
It's definitely tempting. You can play the draw. I got to say, of all the shots they discussed there, this is the one I like the least. There is some danger playing this tap. You tap this onto your own stone, you could leave Eberly sitting 1 after this.
Except I don't think they have the weight to do that kind of damage.
Yes! Ah.
Well, that does leave the yellow a little bit vulnerable from both sides, although I don't know how you get there.
And you've overlapped the 2 reds,
Yeah.
so you don't have anything you can run in again.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't think we want to open that up any.
no, you don't.
It's pretty good right now.
I'd like to play that, but I don't really want to open that up.
No. You want to try the outside come around?
Wow, that's not really good either. That angle's shitty.
To be exact.
Oh.
Don't want to open it up though either.
Should we call a timeout?
I was just wondering if we're going to see another
Yeah,
timeout
I
here.
think we are.
I don't know.
You want to?
We got
I don't
time.
mind this.
Yeah, like they almost have nothing off the 5 unless they're running it onto the 4 out here. Well, she does on that rock right there.
Go right here.
I like that.
That's all I see from the other end is this one. That's
Yeah.
all she has.
Let's guard that.
Yeah. Because she's going to have to open up on her next one no matter what.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just like a 1 over the guard.
There's your answer. Long guard.
Do you want the same turn?
You want the same turn,
They're thinking
Christy?
there's enough of an overlap on
you
the
want
reds
the
that
same
it's
turn?
only the one touching the center line that she might be able to do anything with.
You guys like that?
Yeah, love it. Okay, Christy. You got it.
Oh boy. We're tight for line.
Okay, we're 2.
Alex.
No bouncing. 2.
Here's where you don't want to make the
We're
shot a
moving
little
it.
easier
8.5.
and
Little tap.
We're
Yeah.
really
line them up.
Freeze right onto it, line
Yep.
up.
Yeah, you got to do something. Well, yep, hard, hard.
It's going to bump it a little bit, but still pretty close to lined up.
tiny bit of separation, but
I don't know.
just
Barker.
changing
I think
sports
you
for a
can
second.
triple
I hear
those
Canada
guards.
just won
Okay.
gold
I was looking at this. She's talking
You
about
might
tripling the
actually
guards.
End up getting it here.
in the hockey. Sorry.
Clean it up.
You want peel?
Yep. Quarter of a rock. Quarter. Third.
talking about tripling the guards, and of course that'll roll the shooter away. What she hasn't looked about is looked at here is if she leaves the port, there's an easy double on the two reds.
There sure is.
Yep. Close. Yes. Hard. Hard.
Makes the hit on the first, jumps it back, jams both of the next two.
I don't know, maybe
Oh, I think there is a port.
You think so?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, no, the yellow is still there.
So would
Okay.
love to run that in there, but because right now she can't. Yeah.
I think she needs the outturn
Or
draw
we just do
around.
this.
The outturn draw doesn't get her much.
No,
It
but
could
to
let-
round
Well,
the
she's
center
got
guard
that,
to save
though.
that.
So she does this. We're still second, then we guard again. I think we just have to guard it, and maybe we can play something off. That.
So they're going to play the guard now. Bit of cat and mouse going on here.
Well, it's the same path as.
Little more. I think we just got to guard it.
For sure. I like it. Yeah, this is the call.
Running pretty good here.
Yeah, speed's nice.
Hey.
You're wanting like a 2?
Yeah, not too tight to that. Even a 1, really.
Okay, let's go. Okay.
Oh, if you could ever bump your yellow corner guard up just a little bit, just so that, too, you're making the red run. Take that away, you get the double guard.
Okay, 2. 2.5.
Hey.
Well then.
Two
You
them.
might. You gotta be tight. You gotta be tight here.
To them is definitely not
Are
what
we
they had in mind. They
moving
wanted to be
it?
higher, so now they've got to make sure they're not,
Not moving it.
again,
Not
lined
moving
up.
Don't line it up.
Yeah, exactly that. Don't line it up.
Yes.
Like that.
They swept that about as poorly as they could, I think. It's lined up into the rocks and the rings for sure.
Let that line that up.
Well,
It might have lined up to the
it
red
might have
on
worked
red.
out okay, so I don't think you can. It doesn't go over the top of the red, and that won't kill the yellow then.
Doesn't look like it's quite lined up, you think?
Wasn't very carefully swept anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like just to tap it.
Closer to nose, I'd say. Like, I don't think you can hit it on the inside because you might not hit the red.
Well, nose then.
We're gonna have to really bust in the last.
Yeah. I don't even, I think just on the outside of it. Just play tap weight at it.
I think, well, yeah, because it's coming to ours, right?
Like playing half weight. I wonder if you hit it on this side. Like throw this
But you're
in,
only
this
playing
turn
it.
at it. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yes, then why don't we just
Yeah.
try this?
Yeah.
Just try it.
I think so.
The other option is you throw one, there. Just get it now. You give yourself an option on the second. Even if we're top 8 here.
much, but
Yeah.
with down weight.
15 here
Okay.
again, eh?
A little less.
You think 15? Yeah, probably. Yeah, 15.
Yeah.
So electing the outturn come around.
Okay, let's make it now.
This is a 15, Penny.
15?
15, 15, 2. Should be quick here.
Top of the tee line.
Okay.
All the discussion here was about how they get in. Chantal Eberly has been itching to play that yellow into the pile, and she might have a chance to play that on her last one with not a lot of risk now.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Chantel's good at those.
Line's good.
Wait,
Sweep for tee.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Yeah, gotta go.
Wait, close.
Hard. Hard line.
Hard line.
Hard line.
Gotta go for weight.
Hard, then hard. Really hard. Right to it. Right to it. Hard, right to it. Go. Hard, hard, hard. Go, go, go.
Had great line coming in, but that's going to come up just a little bit short. Bites the top of the forefoot.
Good for a life here, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of reds in there.
Yeah.
Well, no, she can run that in then.
Yeah, we're still set.
But at least it's a yellow that she's running in.
Well, she could play the
Alright, so
yellow
then
onto
we
the
do
red
this?
of the
Yeah.
center line
Yeah.
and run that back for 4.
Or we do this.
You need a really, really big 3-foot
So where
rock
do you want
right
to
now.
put it?
Yeah.
She's going to run my guard if we're not kind of on an angle on one of those. This actually is pretty good here, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that. I really like that one.
But let's make sure that
Yeah, I think so, guys.
Yeah? And then if we did angle the yellow one, that's okay too. Okay. That should be okay. If I'm throwing up here weight, it should get there.
So they the guard, but they want to kind of corner freeze on that red one because they're worried about running this one into the rings.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But there's still other options available.
Even the angle on the yellow,
and she's got a double run right now, so that's another reason why that corner freeze on the top red.
Okay, right? Because then she'll
she
still
could
be
take
able
that
to
away as
run
well.
this yellow onto ours, and that red could shoot somewhere.
Okay. Okay. So like 1.5, 2.
Yeah.
2.
Okay. Give me an inch less. A little less.
I need less.
I need a little less. Okay, not for line.
Chantal Everly with her final stone here in the 7th end.
Okay, it's
Playing
not
the guard,
bad.
try to hold Penny Barker to the single point. She doesn't place this just right. Penny might have a chance to run something back for, it could be as many as 4.
Looks like they're going to corner on that one.
Oh, they, again, had a few issues with the sweep call. Rubs the top yellow, and her shooter comes across into the open. Now, can they get that by the red to run
I'm
it
not
back?
sure if they can get by that red.
It wouldn't be
Maybe
for 4
stopped.
anyway, it would only be for 3.
Maybe stop just in time.
No, I don't really rub that one.
I'm good with this. This is just high.
Yeah,
Unless you,
it's tough. I mean, we need to make sure the 2 kills the 4. It does, doesn't
What if you
it?
did the yellow-red combo?
Oh yeah.
On the
I
center.
don't think that gets there. But the only thing is yeah, you don't.
Might be for 3.
It's for 3. You gotta. You don't wanna.
I think we're okay. As long as we catch the 7, I think we're okay.
Just high.
I think so, Penny, but I think you just play soft, though.
I think it's easier to play with.
I think it is too.
Because
I think like 10.
You're pretty close to
You don't have to
nose.
go nuts or anything. 10.
It's pretty straight here, right?
Yeah. So 10.
Basically nose, we're saying? A little high side?
Little high.
It's one of those things that might be easier
10.
to control with weight.
Oh.
I'm just scared that your red is going to
So I think they have elected to run the yellow that Chantal just threw back into the rings.
Basically nose, little high side.
Yeah, exactly as she said.
10.
Okay. I like that.
Basically a nose, just a tad on the high side, and
touch
it
more.
would be for 3.
That looks good, Penny.
Yeah.
And if your Chantal's team are going well, at least it's a yellow one coming in. The most they can get is 3 with a really great shot.
I think if you're Chantal's
Except
team, you're
that you
going,
just
I
put
hope
it
she
there.
misses this.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no kidding.
10.
Close.
Nothing out of the brush yet.
Got some
Has to
curling
get close
to
to
do.
the nose to get by the second, the red stone. Trying to get some curl out of it, and it will jam it into the second guard. Everything goes by harmlessly, and it'll be a single point for Penny Barker. We're all tied up after 7 ends. Chantal Everly with last rock in the end.
Totally my first time. I'm very excited. Don't worry, you're gonna have a great time. We're gonna throw the rock and practice, and then we're gonna actually play games. Really? Yeah. Awesome.
Snappy better. Could be better.
Want to try it and have some fun? Hurry hard to your local curling center or visit CurlSask.ca to find a curling center near you.
Winter's just around the corner, So drop into Jiffy Lube for your winter oil change. No appointment necessary. Jiffy Lube. Be wise, winterize.
Welcome back, everyone. We've got more scores to report here in the final round robin draw, and with that, we'll try to keep you up to date with who's in the playoff hunt.
Candace Chisholm was looking at 2 Lawton rocks, trying to hit and roll behind a guard, but rolled out, allowing Stephanie Lawton to draw an open draw to the house for her 2 points and a 7-6 lead.
And for those two teams, both need a win and some help to stay alive.
Yeah, over here on sheet 2, we just watched that eventful 7th end. All those rocks and all that happened was 1 point for the Barker team, 5-5.
In a very quick open end here in the 8th, Ashley Howard had the opportunity to blank, so she did. So it's 5-4, Robin Silvernagel into the 9th.
And over on the Holland-Anderson game, it was an open 8th with 1 point for the Anderson team. Make that score 6-3.
That was interesting because Amber Holland doubled out 2 Anderson stones on her last one, and with nothing in play, Sherry opted to take the point to try to, do something different now. Maybe she can steal her way home on this game.
Yeah, change it up, and that was that 8th end that we're talking about. That's pretty crucial. So
throw.
Back to our feature game. Tied up ball game, playing the 8th end.
Take 7 for line.
We were saying now that Canada's won
Where are
gold
we?
in the hockey,
7, 8.
people will quit switching back and forth. They can stay with the curling now.
Back house.
Perfect.
Save some batteries in the remote.
Exactly.
Trying.
So not big time trouble, but at 8 minutes and 5 seconds, the Barker team will probably start watching the clock just a little bit. They do have 1 timeout left, and they're, you just have to be cognizant now that you don't want too many long discussions, because if it gets to be a messy 10th end, we've seen them earlier this week where they were running up and down the ice with 1.5 minutes left to play 1 end.
Not a situation you want to find yourself in the 10th.
Just the only thing you tell yourself is, well, we can do it if we have to,
Yes,
but
you can.
certainly don't want to have to do it again.
That's right.
For Chantel Everly, she started off slow in this game and has taken 7 ends to get herself into a position where she's finally in good shape. She's tied up playing 8 with last rock.
Yep.
But here we go again, back 8 foot, and first lead that goes back there. The end is always in the other team's favor. And as we were noticing, like Kim had said earlier in this game, Chantal always wears her emotions on the sleeves and on her sleeve, and you could start to hear the frustration coming into her voice there, a little bit of annoyance, and that's always, it's hard for anybody to control, but it just doesn't help when that rock goes back where it does too. You're trying to find some positives, but hopefully she can regroup herself there and keep focused.
Well, I don't know that one will cause Chantel the issue. The one that was really causing her the frustration. She can't seem to find the right broom for the difference between Larissa and Christy. Their rocks just aren't reacting the same, and
Still need my gripper.
Chantel's really getting frustrated by that. Chance to play a double peel here. We know with the weight Larissa Murray can throw, this one is expected to run fairly straight.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Yes. Fine.
Looking to drive one across the top of the second, get the 2 guards. May get it coming back into the rings, but
Okay.
that hit jammed a little bit more solidly than she expected. Didn't spin everything off the center line, though.
Sign, Lorraine. So same weight? Think so.
However, already that out-turn side's getting a little closed off.
Sure is.
A little more full.
So a hair more weight, 2, 3.
Higher the better. Go, guys. Only
Sliding.
at the end. No. Whoa, you
Only
can't.
at the end. Almost in.
At the end, Danielle. Yep. Yes. Yes. Easy. Hard.
Nice guard. Lorraine's been playing well all week. No exception tonight.
Feel. Okay.
with the way she's playing this, I don't think they're looking for any kind of double peel, just get one. And they've called the sweep on right away. Chantel's moved back into the house, so now looking at trying to run it back. Well, that was a good plan B call. Yep. Chantel was aware of it. Larissa a little narrow out of her hand. Chantel moved right back behind that stone so that she could watch the line for that.
Yep.
And
Well,
boy,
as we've always said, and we always hear on TV too, sometimes you need a break to
turn things around.
With making that shot, she still rolled her shooter well off the center line. If you knew you could make it that good, you might have played it that way.
Yeah, really. It's a good shot.
You'd think to run that back, it would be hard to get that far off the center line. Still 3 guards on that side, just off the center line for Deanna Doig to try to come around here.
Line's good, go!
We got it, hard! Hard, keep it straight, hard line! Hard, 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 hard!
Why did we switch?
Yeah, there was a little miscommunication on that one. They had to go for weight, and somewhere along the line, the sweepers decided to switch to get some extra curl there. They put that into the guard. Not that it ever had the weight to make the house anyway.
I don't think it mattered a whole
certainly
lot.
Don't. Like, we know their propensity to raise rocks up. We saw Deanna do that in the last end and it just missed, but that takes that away right there with the over curl.
Chance now for Christy Gamble to come around. If she can be the first one around those guards, just bite the top of the forefoot. It'd be an excellent chance here for the Eberle team to pick up a couple of points here in the 8th end.
They're calling back 12 foot.
Or 9-10. It's coming down. No, can't. It's gotta like do something. Oh boy, yeah.
Oh, we're back there already.
Well, they wanted this to be in the top of the forefoot, and it'll just hang on for a bite of the back 12, about half in, 3/4.
So now back advantage, Penny Barker.
Weight's better, but we're still gonna have to go.
Go then, go!
Yeah, you can go.
Line's good.
Weight's close.
Gotta
go! Gotta go! Hard!
Hard line!
Hard line!
Really hard!
Hard!
Deanna Doig with another chance to try to come around these guards. And she's going to be a little bit light again, and with that being short, it comes over and nudges the guards, and now it's getting hard to get in at all.
I feel like we just got a draw in here.
That's proving to be kind of hard.
Not and roll over. No? What do you like, Kaylee?
I'm not going to argue with Chantel's logic. I think that's the call, but how do you get there right now? That's a skinny little port.
I feel like I need a hair. Can we just talk about this? You don't like to hit it off? Okay.
Chantel going, I really don't want to move that broom. That's great camera work. I mean, you feel like you're standing right in the house with Chantel.
Little bit early. Can't. Don't want to. Well then. 8. Clean.
And the difference between these sweepers and myself, when I say I don't want to, it's got nothing to do with the weight.
Yeah. Whoa. Whoa.
Needs to curl a little bit more to make that port. She's going to get a little bit of a rub, and can they still get it into the rings? They get it into the 12-foot, but it's left plenty of room to come around still. However, for Penny Barker, it's getting into a little bit of desperation here.
Sure
if you don't get one in there, you could be facing 4.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh God, I
could take
But
a
it
hair
just
less.
is screaming opportunity here. I mean, it's set up nicely for a steal.
Yeah, you just have to get a rock in the rings.
This is back to the fast spot.
This is like 15-2 almost, right?
Yeah,
It's pretty slick by the sounds of things.
Yeah, it's faster out there than it is when they've got the broom on the edge of the forefoot.
when it starts to curl. Yeah, for sure. All right, Penny. Nice throw here. Let's make it good.
Weight's better. Line only.
Weight's better.
Line only. We're all back.
No line something? No, we're past it. Past that.
Go. It's close. Wait's close.
Danielle, gotta go.
We're back.
By the guard, they're looking for the extra curl now, knowing that they're close to the back one.
Bet that just cuts out an awful lot of yellow rocks.
Leaves lots of room on top to still manufacture your deuce, but you're right, it does take the other 3 yellows out of play.
Well, when you started the end, you'd have been happy to score 2 if you can put something in the top of the 4-foot here.
That's right.
You've still got that chance.
Really good here. Okay. Top 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go.
That was 14-6, so.
Okay.
So it's easy 15-1-2 to the tee line.
Sure is.
For line.
Still lots of room. We're all there.
No line.
Lots of line.
Line's okay.
Yeah. Really nice.
Room.
Go if you have to.
Line only.
Go wait. We're
Line
all
only.
there. Great. Got room.
Line only. We're deep.
Okay,
T
well,
for sure. We're deep. We're 8.
No.
It's got nice line coming by, but another stone that slides just a little bit too far. It will be shot rock, but it leaves Penny Barker the chance to sit on top.
You still good here?
Yeah.
She comes right down to it. Certainly we shall have no worse than a force here. If she could put this in the top corner of the button, she'd be in great shape to steal.
Yeah, and the noise you're hearing in the arena is a handshake over on sheet 4. Amber Holland got her 1 point, and the Anderson team shook hands, make that final score 7-3 for Holland over Anderson.
And that moves Sherry Anderson into that grouping of curlers at 4 losses. So Sherry finishing the round robin here at 4-4. Amber Holland improves her record to 2-6.
I think that means we now know there will be at least 1 tiebreaker.
It does. That makes 4 losses in tiebreakers.
Close.
Danielle, go. Danielle. We're all hard. Coming down now. Want me to go?
Needs to curl. What is the weight?
We're back. Make it.
Penny Barker looking to come down on top of that yellow stone. Right down on the face.
Get there.
By getting that deep, it does leave Chantel a chance to score her single, but no opportunity for any more than 1.
Although I believe the statisticians would tell you, you take your 1 point in the 8th end,
Gotta get pretty good line.
you got pretty good odds.
All right, you guys have to sweep just for tee. We got to get some curl. She definitely had lots of room by that guard, so
yeah, we did.
She'll be able to get there.
All right.
Yeah.
Should be shot rock, I think, if she comes right to the nose, but makes it a lot less touchy for them if they could ever get to the inside. Anything on the outside, it's touch and go who would be shot rock. That red's not going to go very far back. It's got about a couple of inches separation, that's it.
Good. Line only. Pretty good. Yellow. Yeah. Line. Get line. Line only. Haley. Yep. Line only.
Got room by the front one.
Let it curl. Haley.
Comes down just to the
Nice
inside,
shot.
nudges it back, and she will pick up her single point and take the 1 point lead into the 9th.
Take your Share More plan with you and enjoy worry-free data in the U.S. The all-new Share More Canada and U.S. plan, now available from SaskTel.
White Ice, the ice paint people, set out to develop a very specific ice paint product that would satisfy the needs of the professional ice maker in both hockey and curling. White Ice was successfully formulated and tested, and distribution began in 1988 and has since expanded their line of products and services to meet the needs of today's professional ice makers. White ice is distributed by Eastside Paint and Wallpaper in Saskatoon, who is also a signature Benjamin Moore paint dealer. White ice at Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, defining the game.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, we're in the booth shuffling around papers as we try to figure out the combinations. Still a number of pages alive. We'll quickly update the scores. These are all going to go right down to the wire.
Both Candace Chisholm and Stephanie Lawton with identical 3 and 4 records coming into this game. So the loser will be eliminated. Winner stays alive. And Candace Chisholm forced to take one in the 9th end. We have a tie game here, but just saw a flashed hit. So we will keep you posted here. They are just on seconds rocks.
She too is our feature game, and we did just see that nice shot by Chantal Eberly to get her 1 point. So the score is 6-5, playing the 9th end.
Robin Silvernagel with a 6-1 record. Her absolute best case scenario is she could finish first. Worst case is second, but Ashley Howard has the 4-loss record, so she needs the win here to stay alive also. And Robin Silvernagel did take one in the 9th end. Ashley Howard needs 2 points to at least tie in 10.
And over on sheet 4, Amber Holland wins the game 7-3. I'll admit all these combinations are just too hard for me. But I can tell you this, Holland's out. Pretty sure Anderson's in a tiebreaker no matter what happens over the rest of the games.
Well, it's kind of fun. Sean has about a dozen pieces of paper with some of the various scenarios. So it's kind of like my Super Bowl raffle or game tickets here. You're ripping up the ones that don't count anymore, but we haven't eliminated very many.
Not too many.
Still a lot of pages sitting on the desk.
It was curling, not much. It was going to come off.
Well, the other exciting thing is the other 2 games are in the 10th end, so we can probably have it figured out by the time we get to our 10th end.
Well, we're talking about all the combinations and everything, and as it is, Penny Barker down 1 here as she plays the 9th, and she's going to have some time issues as well. She's at 5 minutes and 20 seconds, 1 timeout left, and she needs to be on the offensive a little bit, so that's going to take a little bit more time. Normally, you'd look at that clock and think, well, Chantal Eberly's not real long for time either. She's at 7 minutes, 36 seconds, but when you're 2 minutes ahead of your opposition, that's an eon.
Yeah, exactly. You just have to stay ahead of the opposition.
Yeah, chances are if we have to talk about things, so will they, and they don't have the time to do it.
Well, and the impact on this game is right now with Chantal Eberly in a 5-2 record, Penny Barker at 4-3. These teams are playing for second and, well, Chantal still has first place alive if Silvernagel loses, but even finishing second puts you into that 1-2 game. And if Barker wins this game over Chantal, she will go to that 1-2 game against Silvernagel potentially. So, or against Silvernagel will happen. So a lot on the line here. You don't, you know, if you can get into that 1-2 and give yourself an extra life, you're trying to take it.
You got room.
Nice tap made on the last one by Danielle Sosinski. So now Barker's sitting 2. And Larissa Murray looking to come down and sit on top of Shot Rock.
Good.
Bumps it back just a little bit, but sits on a nice angle, and I think it is actually the Eberly stone that's Shot Rock.
Okay, back line. You don't like the peel?
Guess not.
Hard line.
They're on this right away. There is a yellow guard out front. They had actually talked about peeling it from the hack end.
It's going to be a nose.
They're going to move it. Actually curls past the nose on that stone. Comes up and taps the one that was just delivered, and fortunate not to leave it frozen on the red at the back. It is Eberly sitting 1.
Sorry.
And she'll be guarding now.
We got a peel there.
curling of anything.
Really curling hard.
It's going, yeah. Can you bounce off? Yep. Yep.
Looking to get a little bounce off the red now.
Yes! Hard! Okay.
Brings it back a little bit.
Yeah, that works. Here we go.
There was going to be this double peel attempt made likely anyway.
Hope that it goes by
You can
that.
turn and get them both.
What am I doing?
It'll be interesting now to see how this
Can you do it with
yellow
the
comes back.
Yeah, we can, or we can run it in.
No, the yellow, and then the shooter gets the red.
Do it.
Okay, she's got it for you.
I don't know what I'm throwing.
Peel weight.
And this is
That's
an
always
issue
a
where
good question.
But this is an issue where the clocks are coming into play. They're shouting down other options from the other end. People aren't sure what they're talking about, and they don't have time to straighten it out.
You hate to sit and hack and throw when you don't know what it is you're throwing.
Makes the hit on the guard, but comes across, doesn't catch the second guard, and the rock on the top of the 4-foot gets jammed onto that red at the back. It's now Chantel Eberly sitting 2.
This is okay.
And that all comes down to the rush.
You're exactly
The clock
right.
is affecting them here in the 9th end.
Yeah, for sure. That was huge.
Well,
You can't
Lorraine,
be
too,
throwing
being a young curler like that, too, you know, when you're not sure of the shot when it was called, that might have been, even with the time clocks running, a good opportunity. Just stand up a couple seconds, regroup, and reset for that shot. Sitting in the hack, getting the call isn't necessarily the best setup procedure.
I'm going to say that at that point in time, maybe the best approach would have been just to let the skip call the game.
Might over curl an inch here.
There was nothing wrong with the first call.
Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa. Pretty good.
Yes, good shot.
Well, it's a good sign of the emotions that are out there. I mean, as you say, it's your playoff lives at stake and big opportunity to get into that 1-2 game. And Penny'd be happy to do that after the marathon she did last year with the 5 straight back against the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Got good cover with that last shot, but there might be a chance if she can hit these 2 reds close to the middle and maybe get the 3 guards moving. This is still going to have to curl quite a bit, though. Hits the outside one, comes across, but too thick on that one to really push it onto the yellow, and the shooter spins up and provides another center guard.
Leaves the shooter right on center line.
Do they have an in-off?
Got some work to do.
She can come in and move them, though. Do you like this?
No.
Do you like that red rock sitting in the top 12 foot?
It's not bothering me. It's
You know,
awfully thin
T-line
to do
is
anything
up
with it.
behind T, right? Okay, throw it.
Go
One
take a look
on the
if you
center
want. We got
line.
time. We're going 2? 1? Okay.
So calling for the long.
Christy Gamble looking to play the long guard, and Penny Barker, with just 3 stones left to come, is going to have trouble finding a way in.
2, 3 and a half for sure.
3?
3. Okay, go, Betty.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, hold the line.
Okay, they're calling the audible here. They were looking for a long guard. This is tight. They've got to get by the red at least.
Angle the yellow. Whoa, whoa,
We're tight. We're bumping it. We're bumping it.
They're by the red.
We're not behind.
Now, that was a long ways off what they were looking for. They were looking for a high guard, and that's just about weight to the 8-foot.
Yeah, it's been a struggle for Christy's weight all evening.
Well, looks like they're going to run yellow into the pack.
Yeah, you have to play the triple. It
Yep.
would leave you sitting 2.
Half a rock.
And that's the bonus. This is really all they have to get rid of those 2 on there.
Whoa. Got just an 8-5. Whoa.
Nothing out of the brushers so far. Boy, this has been the best chance you've had to get out of some trouble here.
Oh, and
Not
you also
only
lose the chance you had over there.
pushes the yellow by, kills her own stone at the top of the 12-foot, and it's
I
still
feel like
Chantel Eberly sitting 2.
I mean, this angle is
few
not
missed
very good for us, but
opportunities here
this
this end by
angle is
both teams.
better. She's got this, right? Even if we angled the 5. What do you like?
I like the guard on
I
this
like
side.
that.
Hey, can she play? I think we give that to her
This
because she
looks
won't get
nice.
shot. So guard up there. Yeah, on my
that
first.
on your second one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. Because that rock is there. So
I don't think she's playing that for 2.
like,
Exactly.
she she's gonna probably run this, right? Yeah. So then do we need to put it here and let her play that? But she could get shot. Yeah, timeout.
See a timeout called. We're going to see.
Chantel was just about to make her way down to the other end and realized that the double run double might be an option.
I mean, it's a double run. She has to make.
The difference now, too, is that other red rock is gone. Even if she makes the double run, it's just for one.
Block this side. Well, if we block this side, she plays this, right? This double run.
Okay, let's talk to the...
Or we angle, if we can get a bit precise, but she can still play the out turn to get... What's that? Well, I don't mind going right in. I don't know what we're guarding. If we guard, I don't know what we're guarding. Are we guarding a path over here, or are we guarding this red one?
Well, this to move them is a lot easier than this to move them. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about running, like she's gonna run the 5 if I throw this guard. So what, if we're throwing a guard, are we not just guarding the, because I feel she can throw the out turn and get shot. Just let her have that. Let her have the double run.
Let her have it.
Not this side. They're going to do it on the out turn.
Yeah. I feel like she can with the out turn.
Yeah, she can't with the in, right?
She can't get shot, but she could freeze tap, right?
That double run's a tough shot, plus it's our yellow rock that's flying.
The only thing, freeze tap, she's going to have she needs 2 shots.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so we're doing this
all day.
Okay. So here comes Tim Gaber to give the coach the hook.
Goodbye, Mark.
Yeah, well, this is the same guard that I threw.
So you might have heard me say, wow, keeping an eye on the Stephanie Lawton, Candace Chisholm game. Stephanie Lawton just came up with a huge triple. Top 12-foot centerline rock she ran of Candace, ran into 2 in the back 4-foot, tripled them out. There's one center guard left for Candace's last shot, and Stephanie does have shot rock back corner of the 8-foot.
You got this.
Yeah, that one was a beauty by Stephanie Lawton. Beauty, game saver, all sorts of things.
So this draw of Candace Chisholm is going back for... Stops for shot in the back of the 8, but it looks like it's...
How's line? Good.
It's buried, but it's very long guard.
Chantel Everly playing the guard here.
Yes! No, we're good. Just clean it in.
Penny Barker already has the shot called and is making her way down to the other end. 3 minutes, 52 seconds for them right now, so they'll be okay for the 10th end, a little tight.
And they still have a timeout as well. But the time clocks are playing a factor.
Well, right now, so is the scoreboard. Looking for the double run here. Needs to make 3 rocks fly, really. That's the 3 yellows, the one at the top 12, and both of the 2 in the 4-foot she's hoping to remove.
Hard! Really hard! Hard!
Makes the hit, comes back, and this is going to jam on her own stone at the very back.
That worked out as bad as it could.
Yeah,
Stephanie Lawton is in the hack. She needs to draw a full 8-foot plus for her win.
And here it is.
Tolerance is high, right?
Just out of her hand.
She's got nothing over there. For her anyway.
No guards in her way on this side, but the brushers jumped this right out of her hand.
Both these teams at 4 losses. Winner is
they're easing up a little now,
alive.
Just cleaning.
I don't even know that she can get one with that run.
And the winner of this game is alive in tiebreakers, and it looks like Stephanie's put it right on the button.
Does it look like she has a
so that puts Stephanie Lawton in a tiebreaker?
I mean, she's got a run, but I think that's just to eliminate
and that does eliminate Candace Chisholm.
You mean on the outside one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I could.
I think top 8's our tolerance, right? Even?
Okay.
Right? You got this.
Yeah.
Trust it.
Still a couple of games out here that have to finish up before we find out whether that's a 3-way tie or a 4-way tie.
Likes to go a bit.
Okay.
And that all affects who has to play the tiebreaker games yet, too.
How's line? Fine. Leave it higher. Not moving yet.
No, it's not curling.
Not curling at all. 4 right now. No. 5. Oh, no. We're 5. No, nothing. Stop.
Or go.
No.
Yes, skip.
Trying to get it past, and they got caught right in
but
between.
I don't think it had the legs for that.
Well, they weren't going to sweep that 6 feet more.
think you'd have
There
to
is a
throw
guard
away.
out there, and I think we just heard Lorraine say it's edge to edge. I don't know if she can get thin enough to.
I don't think she can.
And try to rub off.
There you go. There's the look at it. You really can't.
Yeah.
But having said
Got
that,
to play
I
it
don't
as a
think-
heavy draw and just try to
What else does
redirect
she
off
have?
of it.
Yeah.
That's right. Chantal, like those sweepers, they would have had been on that right from the start to get that one pass. So all they could do is just stop and hope it stops soon enough.
On the line it's on. If it stops a foot higher, you're probably stealing 2 here. That's not so bad either.
Maybe even just here, Penny.
Yeah, I think we only can throw back 8. It's edge to edge.
This won't curl much here, so nice throw here.
Little bit more. More.
It won't curl
She has to get well to the inside of this just to hold it to a steal of 1.
Kind of like.
We gotta go.
Gotta roll.
In it all.
Do you want me to go?
Gotta go, though. Gotta go.
What?
Yes, gotta go.
So
No line
sweeping
at
from the
all.
outside, trying to get some curl here. This is still on the outside of that yellow rock. It's going to tap it from the outside and taps it in towards the middle, and it's going to be a steal of 3 for Chantal Eberle. She'll take a 9-5 lead, and
Yeah, it's done. 3. Yeah, we're good.
sounds like that's going to be the
Sorry, guys.
handshakes.
Good game.
It will be. That's handshakes. So we have another final. Chantal Eberle knows that she will be in the Page 1-2 game. Now just one last game to determine.
So we're just going to briefly go over here for Skip Rocks on sheet 3. Ashley Hauer who's yellow, needs 2 in order to tie against Silvernagle.
Needs to hold the shooter on this attempt, and it's
Just
going to spin out of the
rolls
ring.
through, so an open hit to eliminate the last remaining Ashley Howardstone, and it would eliminate Ashley Howard, as she is one of those teams at 3 and 4.
And that one, we just had a chance to look over there before she threw that. I'm a little surprised that they weren't playing the shot on the other side.
Yeah. So Robin Silvernagle with an opportunity to finish first place in the pool.
Whoa! Whoa! Clean it! Clean it!
So Jolene saying clean it, so they must have contact here. And that ends
Makes
that
the
game.
hit. That does put it through the back of the rings. And that leaves Robin Silvernagle as the first place team. Chantal Eberle will finish second. They will play in the Page 1-2 game tomorrow, and we're just looking at the tiebreaker scenarios.
I believe we have Anderson, we have Lawton, and we have Penny Barker all tied 4-4. So those 3 teams will be.
And if we've
playing
got that
off for
figured out right, there will
4.
be one tiebreaker game. Sherry Anderson, I believe, by virtue of her head-to-head victory over the other 2, will be the 3rd seed. Penny Barker and Stephanie Lawton will have to play a tiebreaker. That'll be played at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. There will be no 9 o'clock draw in the morning. We will be here for the tiebreaker and the 1-2 game. Pardon me. Tiebreaker at 2 o'clock, and the Page playoffs will be tomorrow night. So we'll look forward to seeing you back with us then, and there's going to be more exciting action for 4 more games.
You betcha. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.